The Magic Podcast. Hosted by Lloyd Barnes and Craig Petty. Your all-access, behind-the-scenes insight into the current happenings of the magic industry. Where Craig and Lloyd will thrust themselves deep inside your ears every Wednesday to rant, dissect, and give you their raw and unfiltered views on the art of magic. So, lock your door, take out your deck, and brace yourself for the Magic Podcast.
Hey, welcome back to the Magic Podcast. My name's Craig Petty, and Lloyd is a cunt.
Well, you're a very lovely person.
Have you been listening to the comments about this? You have. You flipped on a dime. Last week, you were like, we're going to start this podcast by insulting people. Insulting each other. That'll make it feel better.
You look like a senile Phil Collins with a missing chromosome. And I didn't swear. So
don't take people's that's right.
Oh, I fucking swore.
You know, we should address this because a few people have commented on the YouTube video for the Magic Podcast saying, it feels like you're swearing for swearing's sake to be edgy, and I don't like the vulgarity. My point on this, I haven't even spoken to you about this, but my point on this is, I've got 2 points, a short point and a long point. The longer point is, I'm very corporate on all my other videos. I don't swear anymore. I don't even really do rants. But I think that what the Magic Podcast is it's a snapshot into a conversation between two mates that are pretty high up in the magic community, that have a lot of insider knowledge and are fucking idiots as well. But that you're getting a snapshot of a conversation that me and Lloyd would have with each other. If you've ever hung out with me in public, I swear like a trooper. I don't when I'm on video a lot of the time, but I do when I'm with somebody, and so does Lloyd. If you sat down with us at the Blackpool Magic Convention and it was me and him, and then you joined us, you would hear a lot of the same language that you're hearing on the Magic Podcast. I think to not have that, I think would almost make it fake. And I think that's what every other podcast is. Every other podcast minds their P's and Q's. I think that one thing that's always made this podcast successful is we're happy to swear. We're happy to talk about Peter Narda's sweaty, wrinkled ballsack. We're happy to talk about Rick Lax not liking the fact that we talk, not liking the fact that we don't spend more time talking about fucking kids. We spend time talking about those subjects, and I think that's what makes the Magic Podcast unique. That's the longer point, and the shorter point is fuck off. What do you think?
No, I get it. Some people don't realize that this is our normal way of speaking. I did laugh. I can't remember what my full verbatim reply was, but someone said the use of foul language makes me think, tells me that you're stupid or you're idiots, but research has shown over and scientific and studies, if you just search it online from any major university that's run language and IQ research, if you swear more, you're more likely to be of a higher intelligence. And I said, so I linked 3 research articles. I said, I'm not saying that me and Craig are intelligent, because we're fucking idiots. Like if we had 2 brain cells, we'd be pregnant. I was like, but I just think it probably means we're a little bit more intelligent than those who complain and say people who swear are stupid.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think intelligence or intellect can be measured by the choice of your language.
But playing devil's advocate, right? People don't know we swear. They probably tune into this podcast. They may have tuned in thinking, "Oh, cool, I'll watch this," and then they hear us talking like fucking Dutch sailors, and they're like, "Oh, this has ruined my day," because I was expecting a friendly chat about magic. So I do apologize if you weren't expecting this. However, that's how I can't help it.
Me neither. He's from Wales. I'm from the Midlands. It's going to happen. But if you can make it through the filth and the debauchery, and you can make it through to the other side, there might be
then the podcast is still shit.
And however bad you think I swear, you haven't spent any time around Ryland. Oh, that little fucker.
Does he swear a lot?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh my God. I remember I didn't swear when I was 12. And this is the worst one. This is the worst word. So earmuffs, when I was 11 years old, right? I remember because it was the summer before, as I was starting comprehensive school. So you start comprehensive in September. In the summer, me, my friend Paul and Dale were on the playing fields. And we were playing kicking ball and shit on the summer holidays. And we were saying, like, I know a swear word. I know the word shit. And then Paul's like, I know the word fuck. And I was like, oh, I know bastard because I'm a bastard. I'm going to dad. And Dale goes, I know the worst word ever. And we were like, well, tell us. And he's like, I can't. We're like, tell us. He's like, cunt. And we're like, that's not a fucking swear word. He's like, yes, it is the worst one. We're like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And he's like, yes, it is. Cunt is a word. We're like, it's not a real word. And then I went home and I was saying, and I was going around the house going, cunt, because I didn't think it was a real word. And my mum was absolutely like, oh, and I was like, what? It's not even a swear word. She's like, yes, it is the worst one. I was like, oh, Dale's such a cunt. He was right.
But here's the thing for people that are tuning in from America, cunt has actually become a term of endearment in the UK these days amongst close friends.
Yeah,
like it'll be like, hey, how you doing, you silly cunt? Like it's not anymore as bad as it used to be. Like
I wouldn't call someone a cunt if I didn't like them. If I hated them, then it would be like said with in an entirely different setting.
Yes.
It wouldn't come with any entrees, you know, which would be like, you fucking.
All right, shut up. Yeah. So that's a long way of saying we apologize for the swearing.
Also, I think the swearing is just an arsehole filter.
We're finding our audience. Build it and they will come.
Only on their legs, right? On their thighs. Any order? Oh, quick order of business. Question come up in the Magic Cafe from Don Wand. Why hasn't the golden ticket been found yet? If there's no more units of the atomic deck left to buy from Murphy's. So just a quick explainer to people who don't understand the different types of businesses. You have direct customer businesses and wholesale businesses. Murphy's is a wholesaler. We sell multiple units to a single magic shop. The magic shop will sell normally one unit at a time to a customer. So if Murphy's have sold all their stock, the golden ticket is in one of the units. There may be a shop, well, if it hasn't been found yet, there's probably a shop somewhere in the world that hasn't sold all of their units. And because there are, I don't know how many there are, but I know there's a couple of hundred different magic shops.
I've got 50 units of atomic deck in my cupboard that I take to lectures and I sell at conventions and lectures. That's just one person. Like, do you know what I mean? There's.
Well, I know for a fact we have shops in Asia, in all over Europe, Canada, South America. So the likelihood that it's definitely on a shelf, or somebody's claimed it or got it and just discarded it. It wouldn't be the first time somebody's got a prize and just thrown it away. But yeah, the likelihood is that it's just on a shelf. But that's I think it's just an explainer to someone who may not understand the hows and whys of why maybe someone hasn't claimed the prize yet. But I think was it, I don't want to get it wrong, was it 10 silver tickets?
10 silver tickets and one gold ticket, yeah. And a lot of the silver tickets. I think all the silver tickets were found.
Okay. It could have been the case that there was one silver ticket not claimed and the golden one was in there, you know, just kind of just the way the world works. Anyway, even like massive companies who do like, find the $100,000 potato chip or crisp.
Yeah.
They go for years and sometimes they don't get found. I think it'll get found, but
it'll definitely get found.
Or someone's got it and just. But isn't it a funny world? Somebody brought the thread up on the cafe that said this is the worst product of the year, and at the same time, almost somebody posted on Magicians Only, saying just got my atomic deck. Wish I hadn't waited so long. What did he say? Some Otis.
He said it's the best trick ever. Absolutely the best trick ever.
That is the magic world personified. You have some people who get a trick and think it's terrible. Some people who get a trick and think and it's their favorite trick ever.
Yeah.
I remember I was pissed, not at you, but I was pissed. And one of my favorite tricks ever created is Passing Through by Kevin Parker, the visual coin through glass.
Total shit.
I don't know if you threw it in the trash, but you give it most famously one of your worst reviews of all time.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe it because it's such a genius method for a slow motion coining glass bottle. And you panned it. But that's magic. That's magic.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to be honest. It was better than the fruit trick that Kevin Parker came up with.
That was from nothing was amazing. And
fuck off.
I'm saying this right. I'm not friends with Kevin Parker, but the only time I've ever spoken to him, he was a little bit crazy. I started off whatever conversation I had with him, like, yo, I'm your biggest fan of your magic. And then he started posting rant after rant after rant about how he has foursomes with people. He's like, you don't know nothing, blah, blah, blah. I have foursomes every week. I'm out here having foursomes. And it was like, he was really targeted and like really attacking. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I think you're a genius. What the fuck? I thought you were like a legend. So I'm saying that as somebody who's kind of had like the strangest, like, from the interaction I had with him, he was going through something or he was drunk as shit. So I'm not defending him from a friendship perspective. The trick is just amazing. So
damn.
Yeah.
Well, all I can say about the atomic deck is, I've released a lot of magic over the years, and some of it I don't do as much as I used to. The atomic deck goes to every show with me. I do it in every single show. I'm so proud of that. I think it's the thing I'm most proud of. I absolutely love performing that routine. And when you and I were at the Young Magicians Club, and all of those young magicians were coming over that hadn't seen it before, and I was performing it for them, they were just like, what the fuck am I seeing? Because they'd not even looked at it because they heard the chatter online, and so they didn't even pay it a thought. And then they saw it perform live, and every single one of them was buying it. And it's like, this is...
I think that's the issue, though. Like, a big part of anyone that seem not everyone, a lot of people's opinions are valid, and but some people get swayed by just I think there's literally like one or two comments on that thread that are like, I tend to steer clear of anything that has so much drama around it.
Yeah.
And it's like, because people go, do you know what? Like, this is just, I'm not in the right headspace in my life to be even trudging through this to find out if it's good or not. And then you see it and you go, what the fuck? Like, I think, have you seen, if kids these days, right, were to look up the film, is it Hook on Rotten Tomatoes?
Hook, the Peter Pan thing, Return to Neverland. Yeah.
Right, let me see what the review is on that. The review of Hook is 29%. It's a rotten rated film. If my kid was looking at like what film to watch, you'd be looking for the highly reviewed film, when he's old enough. He wouldn't give it a second thought, probably. But I'm telling you, from my childhood, Hook was one of the best films ever made. Best films ever made for a kid. No, you can't debate me on that, like, from my opinion. But if you were to look at it and go, oh my God, that thing absolutely sucked from a just a perception point of view.
Yeah.
That's the world. Anyway, George, I wanted to clear that up for anyone that's confused. If either someone's got it with the golden ticket and thrown it away, or it's still on the shelf of a magic shop in a random place.
The other thing,
very easy to understand.
The biggest story here is I didn't know Don had posted on that thread, and I've just looked it up while I've been speaking to you. I just want to point out the bigger problem here is that Don has posted on the Magic Cafe, and he didn't fucking announce himself. First of all, he didn't say that his last post. He didn't say this is Don Wand.
Maybe it's somebody impersonating him.
I just want to say, if you aren't okay, we can help, Don. I don't know what's going on in your life, but I mean, for you not to announce yourself when you come onto the Magic Cafe, shit has hit the fan. If you need help, send me a sign and I'll be there.
Sign says, "This is Don Wand." The other thing to talk about is after last week we spoke a lot about it is confirmed Ted Karmalovich.
Yeah, well, I figured it was as as you never got back to me saying edit the podcast, motherfucker.
Due diligence. Who needs due diligence?
Yeah,
Ted Karmalovich is a pedophile. He was convicted of it for 5 years. The cafe have responded saying that they will take down any post that discusses somebody's personal criminal offenses. So because they don't want
and they won't allow any sort of post that has any sort of sexual connotations.
Yeah.
So that's why they've been.
You can see some of the most vile and disgusting bullying and hatred thrown towards magicians if they've stepped out of line in terms of magic and ethics. So if somebody's ripped a trick off, or if somebody's made a bad product, or anything magic related, you can see the worst side of humanity on that Magic Cafe. But if you've been criminally convicted of fucking children and spent 5 years in prison for doing it, they will 100%, and acknowledgingly, they will cover that up for you. All right?
Yeah.
So if you are a piece of shit and a scumbag and you want to go and fuck kids, but you don't want to be called out for it, the Magic Cafe is your home. That is your sanctuary.
Here's the thing. The Jerks talked about this, right? I don't know if you read it. The Jerks talked about this, and he actually posted about the Magic Cafe's censoring and how it works, because he actually posted that post from the assistant manager who said, no sexual content, this, that, the other. We will not allow flaming of any kind. And the 2 points that the Jerks made, and I really encourage people to go and check it out, were really valid. The first is, you know, this is not sexual content. This is making people aware that the book they potentially might buy was written by a pedophile, a sexual predator.
It's a pedophile.
Exactly. There's nothing sexual about this. It's not like that the post is talking about anything sexual. It's exactly the opposite. It's highlighting something that's happened in history. And to delete those posts and not make people aware of what's going on is fucked up bullshit. And then the other point that
my thinking is this, right? I'm going to say this out loud, and I'll say it fucking proudly. If you cover up someone fucking kids, then you are as culpable as them. You're an enabler. And in my books, people who defend pedophiles are very close to themselves, but are very close to doing it themselves in some way, shape, or form, right?
Yeah.
I'm not apologizing for that.
You know, I've had multiple messages in the past from Steve Brooks saying, what the fuck are you doing? Why the fuck are you attacking the Magic Cafe? We've talked about this on the podcast. Steve Brooks, if I've got a personal message to you, and if you want to ban my ass, go right a fucking head. I don't give a flying fuck. The bottom line is, if you're allowing this to happen on your platform, then you are a fucking asshole. And you're not an asshole. I know you're not. I know you've got a lot of shit going on in your life. Everyone has a lot of shit going on in their life. But to allow the platform that you've built to not give this information to the Magic community, to actively have your team go and cover it up, fuck off. Yeah. Fuck the fuck off.
Yeah, no, seriously. That is the behavior of a pedophile. Right? I'm not calling you specifically a pedophile or the manager of the cafe a pedophile, but enabling pedophilic behavior is as bad at it as it in my books. I don't want to sugarcoat my words in any way, shape, or form.
I know, I can tell.
If you know somebody's been convicted in a court of law and spent 5 years in prison for fucking a kid, and you cover it up so that people buy his products, that is lower than a snake's belly.
And that's the thing. This isn't like hearsay. This isn't rumor. This isn't conjecture.
Yeah. And it's not like you're posting pictures of him fucking the kids.
Nope.
This is just the information.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to put out a public statement. They just don't want people even acknowledging it. And that is absolutely fucking foul.
The other point,
fucking foul.
The other point that the Jerks made is this assistant manager said, we will not allow... I can't even say this with a fucking straight face. The assistant manager somehow said that the Magic Cafe will not allow flaming of members in any way. Are you fucking kidding me? The place is a fucking den of iniquity. You wade into there through a bunch of shit, and you're going to get a bunch of people come. Look at just the Atomic Thread. A guy went on there for no reason and said, this is going to be the worst trick of the year. Like, fucking hell.
I mean, you could say that's not really flaming, right? But there's a billion examples on the Magic. I mean, the Magic Cafe is synonymous. It's not, the Magic Cafe comes with the caveat that you go on the Magic Cafe, you are likely to get bullied. The amount of people that have left Magic or been or just do not go near the Magic Cafe because they've been abused and flamed on the Magic Cafe. The Magic Cafe isn't known as just a great resource of magic. It's known as a place that only if you're very brave and have a very thick skin, you go on there, because you're likely to get some abuse thrown at you.
Well, it just makes you wonder.
It just makes you wonder The guy who posted that update knows for a fact that the Magic Cafe is an abusive place to go.
Yeah,
right? They allow flaming. He knows that. So why are they covering up Ted Karmanovich being a pedophile so strongly?
God knows. God knows.
It makes you as bad as one in my books. If you are actively going out of your way to cover up somebody being a pedophile,
and again, when Lloyd's saying being a pedophile, we're talking convicted here.
He spent 5 years in prison. When he was a teacher, he fucking I can't even say it. He fucked one of his child students.
Yep. And then spent 5 years in prison.
Yeah. And he didn't do it just once.
No, it was for 7 months.
There is a special place in hell for scumbags like that. And right next to them, there's a big fat fucking disgusting seat with a sand-covered paper dildo of justice waiting for the people that actively cover up those crimes.
I don't understand why they've done it. I really don't. I really, everyone should go and read The Jerks. And it was about 4 days ago that he talked about this. He said with flaming, he said something very funny to lighten the mood. He actually said, "You say that no flaming is allowed. Look at the post where Craig from 15 years ago with Red by Craig Petty. You know, Craig ripped off Bob King's New Wave prediction and he got flamed on 50 pages of the Magic Cafe." And then he said, Craig should have just gone and fucked Bob King's mum, because then the cafe would have deleted the thread. And it's
yeah. He makes a fantastic point. If you've made a faux pas with your Magic release and you want to bury a lead on it, just go out there and rape a child. Fuck the Magic Cafe in every way, shape, or form. Seriously, they should be ashamed of themselves. And if they're not ashamed of it, if I'm Dave, who's covering up a pedophile, watching this, if I'm him and I'm getting if he gets offended by this, then that's some fucking level of audacity there that I've never seen before.
Yeah,
because he knows we're telling the truth. This is bang on. I'm right here. It's not an opinion-based thing. If you cover up somebody being a pedophile, then you're as bad as them.
Yep.
Fucking slime balls.
I'd love to know what I'd love to know what's. I don't even think Steve Brooks is running this shit show anymore. I think it's his staff. I don't think he's got much to do with it. I really hope he understands what's going on here. I really hope he understands what's going on and how he looks to the wider community. You know, I've been weaning myself off the Magic Cafe. I used to go on there all the time to answer people's questions, but it's not a good place for me to hang out mentally. I just don't like being there. And I always speak to Peter Nardi, and Peter Nardi says, I haven't been on I never go on the Magic Cafe. It's a horrible place to be. Why do you go on there? And other people tell me the same thing. And it's a horrible place. It's got its advantages, but it's a horrible place. And when I've openly spoke out about that, I've got fucking threatening messages on the Magic Cafe from Steve Brooks, the owner of the cafe, saying, what the fuck are you doing? I'll tell you what I'm fucking doing. I'm telling people what I think about your shit show of a fucking forum. And if I had any fucking choice in the matter, I would fucking burn that motherfucker to the ground. You don't like it? Fucking ban me, Steve Brooks.
They wouldn't even notice it was on fire because those fucking pedophile enablers are already burning in metaphorical hell.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've just got absolutely zero tolerance for it.
I know you have.
Absolutely zero tolerance for it. There's no excuse. And I don't go in the cafe. I got a text saying, yo, someone's asking why the golden ticket has been claimed. So, okay, right, let's go and read the fucking content of it. Okay, that's fine. Just, nah. If you're a parent, if you don't fuck kids, if you've got brothers, sisters, if you've ever been affected by somebody sexually abusing you or someone you know or love, or you're like me, and you just think it's the most disgusting crime or thing you could do to another human in the world, then just don't go on the Magic Cafe and don't support those fucking pedophile enablers.
Yeah.
It's really simple. It's really simple. And don't you dare come towards me saying that you're offended or that you're pissed off with that I'm talking about this, or that you can't believe I'm saying this. Because you can go and get fucked as well.
So, welcome to the Magic Podcast. If this is your first episode, buckle
It's very rare I get to have the moral high ground on anything. So I'm enjoying it.
Like, he's from Wales and he's fucked sheep. If only he had the same. If only.
But I make sure they're of age.
Standards.
I make sure those sheep are of consenting age. I say, bar if you want me to fuck you, and the sheep goes. Meh. So then I just go, well, sounds like a yes to me.
Oh my god! I'll tell you something really.
I'm wearing
funny.
my last victim.
That's talking about Wales, moving the subject, making it a little bit lighter.
They could also get fucked too.
I got to talk about something else that's really funny, and I haven't spoken to him yet. I've got to speak about Lord Harry Harrington. I haven't even spoken to him about that. First of all, congratulations to Harry for getting a lecture at the Blackpool Magicians Club next year. That's convention. That's fucking amazing and well deserved. Harry is an amazing, fucking amazing guy. I had a message from somebody the other day. I won't say who the message is, but I had a message. So, context, I've been booked to lecture at a convention in Germany next year. So I'm going over to Germany in May and I'm doing a convention. I'm going to be lecturing. I'm going to be performing. Now, I do not speak German. And a couple of days ago, I had a phone call from somebody saying, you need to speak to Lord Harry Harrington. Why?
Oh, yeah, he's fluent in German.
Yeah, I'm always vowing to talk to Harry. I love talking to Harry. Why in particular? He's like, oh, because he's going to come with you to Germany and he's going to be your translator. I'm like, he's going to fucking do what now? He's like, oh, no, Harry speaks German. He's from Germany. I'm like, I thought he's from Wales. No, he's German. So he speaks fluent German. Yeah, and apparently he's going to be your translator. And this is where it got funny. The guy said to me, because the guy who gave me this message, I'll tell you who it is, Stuart Etheridge, the pilot magician.
Oh, yeah.
So Stuart knows me really well. Stuart's amazing. So Stuart knows me really well, and he knows, he's seen me lecture, that I have no fucking plan of what to do or what to say. I don't know what the lecture is going to entail. I don't know where I'm starting, what I'm saying, or where I'm finishing. And Stuart said, I've got a message for you from Harry. He'd like you to call him so he knows exactly what you're going to be doing in your lecture so he can be on board for when you're translating.
We spent an hour talking last week about how for like 20 minutes of your lecture last time, it was taken on from, you took a trick from someone in the audience and taught it.
I'm not. He's going to find this very fucking difficult. I'll tell you that right now, because I have no clue what I'm going to say. I was
Harry. I would just stand there saying, "You're there doing Lincoln Rings." He's like, "Right, so you take a double lift, and then you're there going." And Harry's going, and then you turn it over on top of the deck, and then you link the rings, and then you put it into the middle of the deck.
Yeah, this has the potential to be the biggest shit show that's ever seen on any convention ever, and I feel really sorry for him. I've got to call him after this podcast, but yeah, that's fucking funny. That's funny. It's got to be the worst fucking job anybody could ever have in the entire history of magic. You're going to be Craig Petty's translator. I might just be really controversial because then it's Harry saying it, not me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. I fucking hate Germans. They're all fucking set. They get the sunbeds before anyone else when they go on holiday.
I hope somebody clips this from the podcast and shares it just before the lecture. You usually like, oh, do you know Welsh people fuck kids? You know, and then Harry has to be like,
Oh dear me. But yeah, so
we do have oh, speaking of Harry and viewers' questions, we have a viewer's audio question from Tyler Lunsford, which reminds me, Harry, if you listen to this, hurry up and pay Tyler for the Blackpool room, you little cunt.
There you go, Harry. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I'll call you in a
Tyler.
bit.
We
have an audio question from the Cowboy Magician.
Oh, you want to play it now, or do you want to play it later?
We'll play it later when the viewers' question, listeners' questions comes in. Also, we're going to need to talk about new products, then listeners' questions, and I need to and the Magic Podcast lecture day at the Blackpool Magic Convention is sold out, right?
It's sold out in record time. Yeah, I mean, and fire.
We didn't even have the dates up there the first time we talked about it.
I know.
You got the dates wrong.
it's just sold out, which is fucking incredible, really. It's wonderful. So thank you very much. But yeah, it's sold out. So that's going to be amazing. It's thank you to everybody. We can't wait to see you. But yeah, so okay, so you've got a plan. Can I talk about one other thing? I'd love to get your opinion on this. So I don't know if you've heard about this. I mentioned this on my Magic News yesterday, briefly. But have you ever heard of this platform called School? Skool.
No.
It's basically kind of like an online learning platform, but it's not like a thing where you can build your own website. You can have your own area and you can create custom content on there to sell
Like a
whatever it is.
Patreon?
Kind of sort of thing, but a
Like a
little bit more.
like a Udemy?
Yeah, sort of thing. Yeah, yeah. So you can have your own courses on there, and it gives you a lot of flexibility in the back end to be able to create courses and landing pages, and they give you marketing tools to be able to market it. And it's this new thing, and there's millions of schools. I went and had a look at it. There's even a school for a witch, like a genuine, bona fide, real witch teaching you witchcraft. They've got
I bet Ted Karmalovich is so upset that he can't get into those fucking
I
schools.
think he's actually got a paedophile course on there, I think, potentially.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. How to cover up pedophilia. Step 1, become a moderator of a green website that allows flaming on a regular basis. Unless you fuck those kids, then you're one of them. Then you're in their fucking crowd. You're one of us, buddy. Get in here. You're safe. This is a safe space for pedophiles. Imagine that. I thought a safe space for pedophiles was Michael Jackson's bedroom with those 7 locks on the door. You know? Turns out it's just the Magic Cafe. Go online, fuck a kid. Nobody will ever know, as long as you just stay on that website. Did I mention the Magic Cafe covers up people who fuck kids? They enable it and they cover it up. Did I mention that? How crazy is that?
You might have mentioned it once or twice. Briefly.
Just in case, like, you didn't know. Sorry. Yeah, okay, so school.
Magic Cafe lets you put kids. School. So there's these schools. Anyway, they've started putting a real lot of money into creating sponsored ads for magicians. Okay. They want magicians to set up schools on their platform, teaching tricks to lay people.
Okay.
Like you can create your own school and you can teach magic and so on and so forth. And there's been a fair bit of discussion about this online, and it's split into 2 camps, but the majority of the magic community
don't fuck kids, but those who are moderators on the Magic Cafe enable. Those are the 2 different. Sorry.
Yes. The majority of the magic community do not fuck kids, right? They also, trying to keep the shit show on track, they also try. I don't know. I completely lost the plot. Yeah. So the majority of the magic community don't like this because they're saying it's exposure. Because if you are making your own school and therefore selling tricks to lay people, it is exposure and you should be kicked out of the magic community, is the general.
But all of us used to be lay people and then we learned magic.
And also, if you are creating a school, you're charging for it. Let's say a layperson finds your school and chooses to pay for it to learn a course. What's the difference between that and going on Penguin Magic and paying 10 quid for a download?
There's a word for people who do this, and it's called gatekeeping or gatekeepers. They're okay to have experienced their own similar route into magic, but it's not okay for other people to do. Gatekeeping, they can get fucked. We live in a different world. Yeah, 200 years ago, the only way to learn magic was only through books or through somebody teaching you in person. But the world has changed dramatically. 200 years ago, we also didn't have airplane. We also couldn't fly to another country. We didn't have communication. Don't think we had telephones 200 years ago. So when did Graham Bell create the telephone? So to expect people to not be allowed to learn when they're willing to, famously for the magic circle, the argument has always been sort of boiled down to, you can't publicly teach tricks, but you can sell them. And the argument's been boiled to, it's okay to teach magic as long as there's a paywall. Yeah. Because it filters out.
I actually personally think it's fine to do it without a paywall, as long as people are showing.
Of course it is.
Like if
the library doesn't have a paywall.
Yeah, if a layperson who's never done magic in their life goes on your channel and spends time watching every single one of your videos and then spends time sitting down and making one of those gimmicks up and then performing it, they've invested time. That's good enough as far
For
as
me,
I'm
the
concerned.
barrier of entry to becoming a magician and and filtering who wants to be a magician or who's allowed to be a magician and who's not allowed is, are you actively interested in magic to the point where you're willing to learn it?
Yeah.
And there should be no discrimination between those who can afford it and those who can't. If somebody wants to learn magic and they're willing to sit down and watch the long tutorials and learn it the right way, I think the discussion gets murky when people are exposing other people's material or trying to teach it in a bite-sized form, just like this. So they'll, like someone like a Rick Lax will take somebody's tenure trick and put it on a 30-second reel to millions of people, right? That's the abhorrent area of magic. But that spills over, people's perception of that then spills over into people who are teaching magic ethically and the right way and their own, and their own ideas to people who are sitting there like active and willing students. But that's that spillover. People find it very hard. Some minority of people find that hard to differentiate, and that's a them problem, not the problem of people who are doing it ethically. It's just something they just gotta learn to understand. Fucking 50 years ago, people didn't understand if you were transgender or of a different race, and you see the extremes of it these days, but people are a lot more understanding of things like that. And I see it in a similar vein. Some people still cannot get through that archaic viewpoint of magic will be accessed. You're not putting the toothpaste back in the tube. You're not putting the feathers back in the pillow. Magic will be taught in the most accessible way available to magicians who are willing to teach it, and it will be accessed in the most accessible way through people who are willingly interested to learn. Yeah. And so kids are less likely, unless they're my kids, to go to the library these days to learn from a magic book, right? But they are 100% more likely to source it through a YouTube channel. Sorry, I know that's a pain.
Case in point, Ryland has always really loved Lego. And he has really got into stop motion. He uses his Lego figures to make stop motion videos. Yeah. And he said, "Do you know how to make a stop motion video?" And I was like, "I've got no clue, mate." And he tucked himself down the cave at the bottom of our garden for an entire day, came back up, and he's like made this really cool Star Wars Lego stop motion. I'm like, "How'd you figure out that?" He's like, "Oh, I just watch some videos on YouTube." That's what kids do these days. If they've got an interest in something, they're going to go and look at YouTube because it's his easiest way to get that information. And the same is true for magic.
YouTube is the biggest DIY academy in the world. It's the biggest tutorial platform that's ever existed. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I mean, one way to look at it, and this is controversial in a sense, and I don't mean to be controversial, but the actual ability level of magicians generally I see as on an average basis as incrementally higher than it ever has been in magic. Yes. You look at some of the sleight of hand ability, the knowledge level, like the average knowledge level of magicians, it's just higher than it ever was. And I go back and I watch I watch a lot of old magic videos, like old magic videos, and I won't name any names purely not to insult anyone. It's not an insulting thing, and it's the same goes for sport as well, right? And this will help some people who don't know because I can't understand myself half the time. But I watch a lot of those old magic videos, of old magicians, and I think, oh my god, they're not as good as I in my head I believe they were. I look at the skill level, this like hand level, and in my head I've heard the stories of them. I see them now and I go, oh, that was a bit sloppy, or they didn't do that as well as, like, I see this loads of kids doing it, or they flashed everywhere on that. And you look at sport, specifically boxing, you look at the old boxers and you think, oh my God, these fucking new guys would wipe them out. And it's not so much, and it's not that they were bad back in the day and they just happened to get caught on camera. And the same for boxers, not that they were poor boxers. They were the top of their field at that time. But the world progresses and things are passed, lessons and information is a part, or same thing, is passed down through generations and time, and things that were like the secrets of like certain boxing secrets or certain new techniques are given at entry level these days.
Yeah.
So things that were like, oh, you can only learn this technique if you've spent 10 years in the game, or this technique was only developed in the 70s or the 80s. Well, now those things are taught day one sometimes, not day one, but you know what I mean? They're taught very early on. So people are learning what would have been the professional techniques, or they're seeing, like we talk about how everybody used to buy, if a pass download came out 15 years ago in Magic, everyone would buy it because a lot of those people who could do the best passes in the world, like Jason England, they weren't on camera readily available. Now, that video is 15 years old and you start Magic, you can just literally go and just, like when I first started Magic, there was not really a way for me to see the person doing the pass as like a Jason England level pass, right? It wasn't there. It wasn't there until like 10 years into Magic for me. Now, if I get into Magic now, I'm saying this with air quotes, that's a boring old video. You know?
Yeah.
And for better or for worse, it's definitely for better. You can argue it all day, every day. Magicians are better magicians now than they ever were. And I think that's largely thanks to the open, accessible nature of Magic Online. And it's going to piss some people off who are staunch in their old beliefs.
Well, I'll tell you something. 10 years ago, 12 years, but before I left the community, when I was with World Magic Shop, I lectured quite frequently. And I always noticed that when I was going into club lectures and I was lecturing at clubs, the standard of the magicians was really quite shite. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but I would ask questions like, who knows a Helmsley count? Nobody would put their hand up.
Did you say Helmsley count?
Helmsley count, yes.
Helmsley. No one knows the Helmsley count. It doesn't exist. It can't.
It's a Mayo thing. But you know, I'd ask simple questions of things like who knows how to do this? Nobody. These days, when I lecture and I'm asked to lecture at clubs, there's people there that are just like, I'm like, oh my God, why are they asking me to lecture? Like when I went to Cardiff, there was that guy that was just with the cards. The guy, I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. I should know his
Lance
name.
Bowen. Lance Bowen.
Lance Bowen. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Lance, if you're listening to this. I'm a fucking moron. But I was watching Lance and I was just like, I'm blown away by everything that you're doing here. I'm just like, why am I fucking lecturing here when they've got you? They could just get you to go up every single week. But then, you know, I see that in every single club. There's really great people. And even the people that aren't at that level, they're still more knowledgeable because I think you've got those really great people that are trickling down. I think that the standard in Magic clubs is so much better than it was when I was lecturing a decade ago.
Yeah.
And then you look at conventions and it's the same. Like, look at the session convention. The highlight for me when I go to the session isn't sitting in the room watching the lectures. It's sitting in the room afterwards and watching somebody I've never heard of, some 18, 19-year-old kid that I've never heard of, that's doing the most insane fucking material that I've ever seen. And I don't even have a clue to begin how to even work out what the fuck they're doing. They're completely fooling me. And their presentation, their skill and everything is just far and beyond anything that I've ever seen before. And they're just sitting there sessioning.
Yeah. And I remember years ago, you would go to a convention, there would be one or two kids that were like phenomenal, but now they are there's so much, they've got so much knowledge because it's so available. And it'll always come down to the same argument for me, which is you can expose Magic all you want online, and when someone watches it in real life, they are blown away.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably an extremely small minority of magicians out there that have actually had their set ruined by someone going, oh, I've seen the secret to that, so it doesn't impress me. And those are the type of people that if they didn't know the secret, they'd still probably be unimpressed. Because they're like, oh, I don't like Magic, I don't want to see that. You know, it's the attitude of people. People are excited to see you perform. I mean perform in an open sense, like perform a song, perform juggling, perform whatever. Most people are just receptive even to somebody willing to put themselves out there and entertain them. The secrets of it was a Jim Steinmeier that says like magic is the door to magic is closed, but it's not locked. And Penn and Teller have shown this, are the forefathers for this. They have shown that the secret to the magic trick is not the important bit at all. No. At all.
No, it's really not.
And I think some people get hung up on it because they see magic in a very modular, linear sense, is that it's just a secret to unlock or a secret to solve if they're on the other side of the fence, or a secret to keep. But it's not about that. It's about, and I think it's why the Spanish magicians are often hailed as the best magicians around the world. It's because they understand that it's about it's very hard for me to say this as somebody who doesn't I don't know, I don't speak the same way as they do, but it's about creating the emotion of magic.
Yeah.
It's about inspiring that feeling of magic. And you can do that whilst actively exposing the secret. It's not about how it works.
Yeah.
It's about what it feels like in the moment. And yeah, I mean, the only people that are like that think that Penn and Teller are a disgrace and bad for magic are the same people who aren't getting as good reactions as the best magicians out there.
Yeah, I agree. And the amount of young magicians that are coming through magic right now that are putting stuff on social media that just is killer. It's great.
Yeah.
Really is. It really is. We say it. We've had people in the past say magic's in a bad place. I think magic's in the best place it could ever be in right now, and I think the future is so bright. I remember when Ryland did Britain's Got Talent and the YMC. There were some great kids at the YMC, whatever. Now you were there. You were there lecturing. They're phenomenal. You've got
it was embarrassing because I lectured and the kids, I don't mean to say kids in like a derogatory or in a way that would turn Karmelovich on or the Magic Cafe moderators, but the kids were better than me. So why was I there? Why was I there as one of two guest? It was me and Jackie Yu, we were the guest lecturers. No need. I mean, Jackie Yu, yeah, he's a superstar, but the kids were better than me. But that I think it's fucking wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Two magicians have won the biggest TV variety show contest in 2 years running in the UK. Britain's Got Talent. Britain's Got Talent is the, for good or for bad, depending on what side of the camp you're on, it's the most viewed way people are going to see a variety of different acts, right? And it's a really good indicator. I mean, the quality of the show is so good these days, but it's a fantastic indicator to let people know what is hot topic right now. Yeah. If the latest craze for kids was cup stacking, and every kid was cup stacking, then it'd be a very good chance that a cup stacker would make it to the live finals, right? Somebody who did it to a song or did like a speed records or different crazy stunts with it. And a magician was voted for by the British public, two magicians, 2 years running, voted for by the British public as the winners, which means the British public.
No, we didn't win last year. We didn't have a winner last year. Yeah,
we had a magician in the live final though. No, it was Jack.
Yeah, so this year we had Harry Moulding win.
He won it.
The year before we had Jack came second, and the year before Killian O'Connor came third. So we've had magicians in the top three.
Sorry, yeah.
Two,
so 3 years,
one,
so
for the last 3 years
running, the country have voted for magicians to either win it or come second and third, which shows you that the British public like magic so much, because for decades, I think it is over 2 decades now, isn't it? It was just singers, dancers, or comedians.
Look, I'll tell you how.
Although it was Jamie Raven and Richard Jones. So I don't want to take
Richard Jones won it many, many years ago, and there was 1 year where tons of them. The year that Jasper Cherry was on it, you had a load of magicians in the final. It was Jasper Cherry. There was Ada McCann. There must have been Magical Bones, I think, was there in the final that year, but none of them made the top three. But the last 3 years, we've had magicians in the top three, which is phenomenal. And I'll tell you something, Lloyd, if you want to know how well magic is doing. Like normally, because I can see how many bookings are coming in for various different events. I can just see. Normally, going into the Christmas period, January is about 20% at capacity because a lot of people leave it until the beginning of January to start booking their January. because they want to leave it until after
Oh yeah, okay.
Christmas. Yeah, so January is typically quieter for magicians. They don't, because people don't want to have a party because it's, they've just had the expense of Christmas, or they've left it until after Christmas and they're booking late, or whatever the case may be. So normally we'll be going into the new year at around about 25% capacity, and it'll be freaking rammed on the phones as of the 1st of January. Um, I'm looking at the stats right now. I actually looked at them yesterday with my sales manager. Uh, for us, 90% capacity. Like, I think we've got something like 2,000 bookings in January across both companies,
Wow.
which is unheard of. And we're turning people away left, right, and center, which should tell you how the public are perceiving magic right now. They really, like, we've got bookings, we're rammed to the rafters right through to 2027. Like, if
Class.
people
Class.
didn't want magic, they wouldn't be booking. It's as simple as that. It's stuff like Britain's Got Talent. It's stuff like Harry Moulding. Don't forget, Harry is going to be on the Royal Variety Show this weekend.
Oh
Um,
hell yeah! Is that this
yeah,
weekend? Is
it's
that
this
on TV this
weekend.
weekend, or is it being
Yeah, and
filmed
and
somewhere?
I'm telling you right now, I am friends with Russ Stevens, so I know exactly what Harry has done in the Royal Variety performance. If you love magic, even if you don't normally watch the Royal Variety performance, you have to watch this. What
Right.
Harry and Russ Stevens have cooked up is ridiculous. It has never been done before, ever. Like, not only that, it's never even come close to being done before. They've been allowed to do stuff that you would never, ever have anticipated a magician would be allowed to do. They have been given access into certain places and areas that you never would have imagined a magician would have been allowed access into. And
Don't say any
one,
more. Don't say more. Don't say
I'm not
more.
going to
I
say
know.
any
I know.
more. All I'm going to say is when you see that performance, you are going to realize just how the level of magic is in this country, and how it's perceived.
Keep talking. I'm gonna get a drink.
Lloyd's fucking off. Yeah. So the Royal Variety performance is the I think it's the 19th. Go check your Google machines. Go and check that. But I think it's the 19th. I think it's Friday or Saturday. It's either Friday or Saturday. And obviously, Magic isn't on every single year, but this year, as the winner of Britain's Got Talent, Harry is going to be on the Royal Variety Show, and what he's doing, it's going to help. I guarantee you that's going to help magic even more in this country over the next 12 months.
Do you know what was good? A good thing I watched. I don't know if it's on YouTube. It might be. It should be. I watched the Magic. This is a couple of months ago, but I watched the Magic Circle. They did like a gala night sort of thing, but it was in like a different venue, and they had all these different celebrities in. Um, and it was, I think it was streamed live on YouTube because it had Harry Merlin Piper was on there doing loads of card manipulation stuff. And me and Kaylee watched it. We were on holiday. We watched it on TV on the screen, on the TV screen. And that was an amazing thing to see. And just by the by, if anyone's looking for something to check out, so it was like the Magic Circle's best performers, or just a collection of the performers from the Magic Circle. I think Young and Strange were on there as well.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And but just if you're looking for something to watch with that, sorry, I just completely.
Yeah, well, the Magic Circle are doing great things at the moment, and I think a big part of that is Marvin Berglass. He's really revitalized what the Magic Circle is doing, and he's wanting to make it a bigger, more recognizable brand to the lay people and the general public, and he's managed to do that, which is incredible. And we're talking about the UK, but over in the States, there's big things happening. Obviously, Magic's always big over in the States, but you've got Nick Lacapo, who's heading up the construction of a brand new
Chicago
Magic venue in Chicago. I mean, Chicago could very much be the mecca of magic over in the States, because you've already got the Chicago Magic Lounge. You've got a really vibrant magic community over there.
Before we go into this tangent, though, because I love Nick Lacapo and Magic, I think we have covered it in another episode. And I want to talk about new products, if there are any new products.
Yeah,
not that there's no love to Nick.
I
fucking love Nick, man. But I think we're going
over.
Nick
Lacapo, fuck you. Let's do. Fuck him and his silly haircut. Right, let's have a look at.
How dare you cunt!
I'm just fucking jealous. He has hair. Anyway,
if I've heard if you lock yourself in a room for 1 week and go, it'll grow back.
Really?
But it'll just stop you filming 27 YouTube videos. I have to say, you don't seem to post 27 videos a week anymore, I don't think, and the world is better for it.
Yeah, I've cut them down as per your recommendation. I mean, I'm doing that. We've stopped the Magic Lives, the little tricks that we did. We've stopped the shorts. We still put a short up every now and again, but
Pareto
now,
principle, baby. 80/20, that shit.
yeah. So now we just do it. I think there's like 8 videos. There's 2 on a Sunday because there's the Q&A and the actual review show special, and then there's one every single day of the week. So I'm doing 8, 8 a week.
It's much more manageable and it's much easier to digest.
Yeah, yeah, because
That's
you
more
can
that.
just ask Sarah. You can have way too much Craig. Like it's very easy to have
Oh
way
yeah.
too much of me.
Yeah.
But I just want to say thank you to everyone that picked up Game Changer and Tech Deck from Penguin Magic. Both of those items are out of stock until January. They're sold so well, they're both out of stock until January. So, you know, when an item goes out of stock at Penguin, you know that you've cracked it. So, thank you to everybody that picked that up. But we're looking at new products, right, mate? Um,
Yes.
so the first thing that's recently just hit hit is Teddy by Michelle Huit and Gentleman's Magic. Have you heard of this?
Mm, Is this the No, it's not the gigantic teddy from a bag,
No,
is
it's
it?
not. No, it's not. Um, Basically, it's an emotional experience. The spectator is instantly transported back to childhood as they reveal the name of a childhood teddy bear. The magic happens when the plush bear you remove from your pocket carries the exact same name engraved, keyword engraved, on a small tag around its neck. Designed for
Ah,
professionals, Teddy is simple, fast, and effortless to perform. Perfect for table hopping, close up, it instantly resets. Blah 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 blah. It comes everything you need. The whole thing. So yeah, it's Teddy by Michelle. It sounds a little bit like Collared by John Archer. But it's a completely different method, and it is engraved. So yeah, I mean that's the first
what's
thing.
the price on that?
It is $79.95.
Okay, that's a great price.
That's a great price for what it is, yeah. And a lot of people have been raving about it as well, which is really cool. The next thing that is worth talking about is that creative genius, Michel Huit, not Michel Huit, sorry, Michael Chatelain. You know Michael Chatelain from
Yeah.
Gimmick Magic? He has
One
brought
by
out
one, is that called?
One by One. Yeah, I was going to talk about One by One. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it looks great. Like so you're holding a playing card and then you're holding a playing card at face level and you wave your hand over it and one corner flips and inverts itself. So like if you're looking at the back of the card, you wave your hand over the card and visually you see the corner just flip. And now you can like now one quarter of the card is the jack, for example. And you continue doing that for each each one of the corners and it visually turns around.
It
Kind of
reminds
like an
me.
open card walk.
I was going to say it's like cardboard, but without any cover whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember that one card one by
Paul Harris Presents was that, wasn't it?
Paul Harris Presents? Yeah, that blew my
Was
fucking
it
mind.
that? Was it that Darren Vanderberg or something?
No, was it like the name Rex is coming to my mind or a name like that? It definitely wasn't Rex. Let me see it. Card one. Was it called Card One or Warp One?
I think it was Warp One.
Paul Harris Presents. Warp one. It's all a double now. It's like Warp one slash David
Jenkins.
David Wren Jenkins was his name, and that's why Rex was coming to my head. David Wren Jenkins. I remember there was a weird name there somewhere. David Wren Jenkins, Warp one. That was great too. But yeah, let's not distract from Chatelain's.
Yeah, this looks incredible. This looks really, really good.
What I like about Michael stuff is that it's always so well made, so you get it and you can just do it out of the box.
Yeah, and you know he is. When the company that you run is called Gimmick Magic, you know what to expect. It's obviously going to be something very very gimmicked. You and I have both talked about the fact that we're burnt out with flaps, and everybody kind of does flap cards these days. What I love about Michael's stuff is he tends to a lot of the time keep away from flaps. He has other ways of achieving these gimmick cards that are quite unique and different to anything that other people do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 and it's also well, but is the price of it $70?
The price is $58.
Oh, 58. I don't know where I got $70 from. I must have looked at $70. That's okay. Still expensive. It's expensive, but you do get really high quality gimmicks from him.
You do, yeah. So it looks really, really good. I can't wait to see it. Talking about gimmicks and something that you should be interested in, have you seen Black Lips?
Yes, by Julio Montoro.
By Julio Montoro and Victor Sands and Ultra Bello. I watched the trailer for this, and I was like, I bet Lloyd's going to be interested in this. Do you want to kind of talk about what it is?
Yeah, it's so you take it's apparently a borrowed dollar bill, but they perform it. I think it has to be a dollar bill, but no, it does say you can use other currency. Anyway, let's just keep it simple. You take a dollar bill. On the dollar bill, you have them sign one half. On the other half of the bill, you place a black sticker. That black sticker then essentially becomes like a black hole in which you can drop in the video, they use a chapstick. So you can push a chapstick straight through that black hole and then peel the sticker off, and the bill is completely restored. It's still signed, and they can keep the bill. Awesome.
Yeah. It's I don't know the method, but it looks really, really good.
It's it seems, slightly in my head as a gimmick loser, a gimmick nerd myself. It seems a little bit derivative, right? I'll say the negatives first. It seems a little bit derivative in that it can get lost amongst, it could get lost amongst, a dozen different tricks that look a lot like this or similar. But that's the only negative that I see, because the fact is they're actually going out and performing this. And you can see the real world reactions. You can always tell when someone's got a fake actress in the trailer. These are real performances, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And that then separates it from anything that in my head that seems derivative or has come before it. Because a lot of those gimmicks that exist out there, they're not practical. So I think what he's bringing here is not so much the creative revolution, but what they've done is they've actually got it to a point where you can go out and do this, which is the most important part.
Yeah.
So I think is worthy of its place on the shelf. And as long as there's nothing deceptive in that trailer, which it doesn't seem to my trained eye, it seems very honest. I think that it's a winner. It's a great trick.
I agree with that.
If you want to do that type of magic, which is completely out of left field, it's not a hey, pick a card, find a card trick. You do something completely like reality bending. That's the one to go for.
I agree completely. But I want to talk now about one of my favorite creators in Magic, because he's just put something out recently. And
no, I haven't.
Well, I mean, you
hey, I'll be here.
I love you, but no, I'm talking about the legend himself, Mr. Kyle Purnell, has brought out Dream Dollar Pro. Have you seen that?
Dream Dollar Pro. This thing looks wild and weird. And so try and explain this audibly without
the best way to describe it. I mean, I saw him do this live in the Roskilde last year or the year before, and it just blew my ever-loving tits off. I had no idea how it worked. But you have $2 bills that can be borrowed. I'm pretty sure this wouldn't work with plastic currency, unfortunately. But I mean, this is good enough to have a couple of dollar bills in your wallet, as far as I'm concerned. But you can
I think from what I can see, it would work with receipts.
Yes, I think it would.
As long as they were a bit older.
But yeah, there's two phases to this. The first phase is that you fold the dollar bills up, and then
one lengthways, one widthways,
and you cause a very clean penetration of $1 bill through the other, where you see it going through. You actually see, you show the moment,
but not like as if you're slicing the bill in half. Imagine one bill, the bill that's folded widthways or lengthways, even the fat bill. It's like you push the other dollar bill through the face of it. So you're making almost like an X shape. So it's not slicing, it's going straight through.
Yes.
Like you're puncturing it through. Like
it looks ridiculous. And then in the second phase, the only way I can describe it is it's like a mismade girl illusion with dollar bills. So you've got the long lengthways dollar bill, and it looks like you just remove the top half and move it to the
slide
side,
it from like left to right,
and you're seeing it move around, and then you restore it. But here's the thing, and this is what you guys need to understand about this. There's no gimmick. There's no extra piece of a dollar bill. There's no extra dollar bill. It's all completely impromptu. It's just $2 bills.
There's an amazing trick by Justin Miller, and this would live perfectly within that trick, which is the trick from Miller is kind of similar in premise, where you take a bill that's folded so it's long, so you fold it in half so it's a hot dog shape as it would be described by Kyle, and you push it down through, pierce it through the other bill. But what Justin does is a different method entirely, different look. It's more like a pen through bill. He takes a black marker, he draws a line through the bill that's going to be pierced. He says, "Okay, this is the wormhole kind of thing." He draws a black line. Then he pushes the bill through that black line, as if it's like a magic doorway, and then pulls it out. And then using a lighter, the line vanishes. So it's a friction marker. We all know that as magicians. And that would actually live so seamlessly in this effect. I know it would make it slightly less impromptu, but I mean, as long as you've got the right pen and it's just carrying it with you, it's not like it's gimmicked. But if you drew the line on the bill, now it looks like it's being pushed through that line, slide it back and forth along the line, and then visually restore the marker line. It would, I think, those two combined. The very first thing that came to my head was combining it with that Justin Miller premise. And again, it's taking it up another notch, but still on its own, having no gimmicks to do that sort of weird, crazy zigzag effect is
well, Kyle has this superpower of taking tricks that look like they should be gimmicked and being able to do them in a way that there's no gimmicks at all. You see him doing this over and over again, and he does it beautifully. And this is a perfect example of that, and he it's just great. He showed me how to do it when we were in the Ruskin, and I was like, I had no idea of where to go with this. I was like, there has to be a gimmick, Kyle, there has to be a gimmick. And he's like, no, there's no gimmick, there's nothing, it's just these two bills. It's incredible. And this is how good it is, as well as me, Lloyd, but for people that don't, the download industry in this community has kind of tanked a little bit. 10 years ago, downloads were everywhere. Downloads were king. You could release a download and you were going to sell a metric ton of them. But these days, for a few different reasons, downloads are nowhere near as popular. Less people are bringing out downloads than ever before. But you look at the top 20 at Penguin Magic, I'm looking at it right now. Number 1, Dream Dollar Pro, which is a download. Because people are seeing this trailer and they're like, fuck, this is good. And they're dropping the $20 on getting the download so they can learn it straight away, which kind of shows me that there is still a market for downloads. But unlike the old days,
I definitely think there is a market for downloads, but I just think it has to be so good to break through the traffic for it, because again, it's that global knowledge, right? It's like the average knowledge point of a magician now is higher than it used to be because almost everything is already out there. So you have to have something so fooling and unique and original that you can't just backtrack it using existing knowledge that you have. And this is one of those prime examples where you look at it and it's so unique in effect. It's so different, it's so strange, and there's not really many breadcrumbs to pick up to take you back to the method. That it's just it's one of those things where it's just easier to bite the bullet and buy the download than it is to sit there trying to spend an hour trying to figure out. It's such a good price point, and you're supporting the creator, so it's like fuck, I may as well just Maybe
Yeah.
spend $20 and walk away with something.
And it's Penguin that have shot it, so you know it's going to be well shot. It's going to be Kyle, so it's going to be well taught. It's one that you can literally learn and put straight into your act. You know, EDC to the max.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one to talk about, and I'll be interested in your take on this as well, Lloyd, because this is absolutely in your wheelhouse. This is a self-release, so it's not available through any other magic shops other than directly through the legend himself, davidjonathanmagic.com. Double feature, which is his first app. Now, I wasn't aware of this, but I was on a one-to-one with some of the people in my Netrix, and I was doing a one-to-one with David Murphy, who you've met a few times.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, really financial advisor from over in Pasadena, really great guy, very, very passionate about magic. And he showed it me, and I was like, damn, that's so clever. Why didn't I not know about that? And it's only just recently come out. And I mean, have you seen this, Lloyd? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I've seen it. I it's not my favorite David Jonathan thing in the world, but I also have a conflicting interest. So I feel like I have a,
Mhm.
with it. So,
You know what I liked about it, and I'd like your opinion on this. I've seen so many
but it's
tricks.
David Jonathan, so it's super fucking clever and it's super practical.
I've seen so many tricks where somebody has to type something into the magician's phone on the notes page
Yeah.
for no reason. Like the amount of times I see somebody do glyphs, do the printer on stage, and they're like, right, can you write this thought into my notes page? Okay. For no fucking reason, because a second later it's going to come out the printer and they're going to reveal it, right? What I like about this is that he has somebody write something down into the notes page,
Well,
but
explain the plot to everyone that's listening.
so basically, he has somebody think. There's a couple of different things you can do with it, and I haven't got it, but from what I've seen, you have somebody think of a film, and you have them think of any film, and they write it in the notes page of their phone. So they write the name of the. Let's say that when David did it on me, I was really testing that motherfucker. So I put They Live, which is a very old film with Roddy Piper. So I wrote They Live, and he's like, They Live, okay, right, and you know, you're still well, I mean, we were doing it virtually, but he's still holding the phone, but I would still be holding the notes page. And could I have known that it was going to be They Live? No. And then he tells me to scroll down the notes page on the same page that I'm on. So I scroll down, and he says, if you scroll down, I've put a prediction that you weren't aware of. And when you scroll to the bottom, it says your film will star Roddy Piper. I'm like, fuck, that's really good, because you know, that's a very unusual film to name. You know, and Roddy Piper only had one fucking good film. So that it might be slightly less impressive if it was like fucking Mission Impossible than it's Tom Cruise, but it was. And then he said, of course, what's interesting is I never showed you the lock screen of my phone. And when he turned on the lock screen of the phone, it was the movie poster for They Live. And I think I liked it because I was really testing him. I did a very old 1980s film, and the poster was still there and the prediction was still there. And I quite liked the way. The thing that really stood out for me was the justification of the notes page. The fact that there was a reason for that thing to be written on that notes page, because there was a prediction that I wasn't aware of that you had to scroll down to see. I'm not an app guy. I've never released an app. I'm dumb as fuck when it comes to this thing. That's probably been done before, as far as I'm aware, or something.
Well, I have something very similar to it, but and this is not so much a David John thing. This is an overall thing for me. But and I know that I'm wrong on this as well. But okay. I don't like phone effects where the end point is
I know you don't,
phone, right? Because it should happen off screen. So the notes thing that I have is, you know, I have this hands off any card, any number.
Yes.
And so and Jake Keane built it for me. But with my one, you say I explain the sort of things. You say I've in this deck that you've shuffled. I before you shuffle it, I'm going to write a prediction, and the prediction, I'll be very open. It's a playing card and a number, and I want you to try and guess the card and number that I've written down. Okay, and it's not it's not about whether this is there. It's more about if you can read my mind, just to see how difficult that is in general. But there's going to be a lot of cards floating around, a lot of numbers. So I'm going to write mine down just so I don't forget it. And then I'll scoot it down the page, and at the top of the page, write down what card and number you think I'm thinking of. So they write it in, and I say, scroll down. What was you close? Did we get the same one? Were you right? And they scroll down, and it was wrong. We didn't guess the same card and number. So okay, never mind. Well, look, this, like I said, it wasn't about you reading my mind. That was just this was just to see if we had a connection at all. This is about the cards that you shuffled. I made a prediction about a card and a number. Deal down. So they deal down to the deck, and sure enough, the card that you predicted is at the exact number that it shuffled in, and then they collect the cards back up. And that's then calibrated the deck so that their card and I say, oh, that was a good trick. But that was me. I could maybe see the cards. I could maybe see where you shuffled that card as you were doing it, and that's how I predicted where it was. And it was just a game of clocking thing. But it would be that. So that was more like skill potentially. But it'd be a miracle if the card and number that you thought of was at the right place. And then they deal down, and it's this perfect like hands off any card, any number.
That's
and it's
very cool.
But the reason I like that is because the reveal happens off screen. So the phone is there, and the reasoning for it is twofold: A, to see if our predictions match, but B, genuinely because people do forget their cards and numbers, or your cards. There's 4 pieces of information floating around, and it actually makes sense to write it down, and then everything happens off screen. Right, yeah, so it works to my model of the app should be used as the vehicle, not the destination.
But I know that I'm wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I think it's subjective. I totally
exactly, and I know, like card to phone, card from phone. I said it myself. When I perform that, people prefer it to the shit that I show them of my own apps. And the phone is the destination with that. They in my head, I'm like, you must know.
It very much depends on the type of performer you are and what you're trying to put across. Like somebody who is wanting to make it look like what they're doing is like an Oz Perlman, for example. They're going to have the same mindset as you. They do not want to have their audience think that what they're doing is gimmicked or have anything to do with technology at all. Whilst for me as a performer, when I go out and perform, I my favorite apps that I use, and I'm going to look on my home screen now, Card to Wallet by Nick Einhorn, and the one where the card comes out the wallet, and I've got Card to Phone there.
Oh yeah, I know.
I've got the icons by the French twins. This is the sort of stuff that you would fucking hate.
Oh, and the thing is, I'm a hypocrite as well. Like, it's a really difficult, weird position to be in. I'm a total hypocrite because I know that it's like, because I use some of these apps as well, like Card to Phone. I literally use it begrudgingly. It's kind of like, oh, I don't want to do it, but I know it's going to get a great reaction. And then, but it's like, oh, but when it comes to my magic that I'm creating, I won't go anywhere near that type of stuff. It's really pathetic place for me to live in my own world. I think if I was, the way I would do David Jonathan's one is I would somehow, apart from the way that I've already got it for my version, is I would somehow make it like, I would say, okay, think of a famous, well-known celebrity, and then write it in my notes app. And then maybe I'd have a stack of posters physically off my phone, and the reveal. So say they said Brad Pitt, I would say the person you're thinking of is on my Fight Club poster over there. But I would, for me, it's like I would run as far away from the reveal being on phone as humanly possible, and I would try and take as many steps away from that reveal, from the information, so that it seems that they're very off thing. It's kind of, the rule for me is like, if one thing happens on the phone, the other thing doesn't. So if you're searching on the phone, the reveal happens off the phone, or vice versa. If the reveal is going to happen on my phone, then the input happens seemingly off the phone. So like, yeah, I don't know, but I know that I sit in the minority camp
there for a minute, because one of my favorite apps to do, and I'll never forget being at a show a few years ago with James Samuel, and he'd hired me to compare a show, Stars of Magic, that he'd done, and some of the staff from the venue came in and said, "Hey, can you do a trick?" And he was like, "Do a trick." So I did one of my favorite impromptu. This is probably my favorite trick to do on a phone that I don't do at a gig. I never do this at a gig, but if you catch me out of a gig or if I'm out with friends and someone says, show me a trick, it's always going to be cognito. That is my favorite thing to do. I've never done it in a gig, but I've probably done it more than any other app on my phone. I do it for friends, I do it for family, I do it at network events, I do it for...
There's a caveat with cognito.
Yeah, because I was going to say, you're using the phone for the method and the reveal is on the phone as well.
But there's a massive, massive caveat, is that the method is so, and I say this, and it makes me sound like a prick, the method is so fooling that it doesn't matter because they never say the word. So incognito, if you don't know what it is, they think about any playing card in the deck, they look at pictures of playing cards that are scattered on the floor, and they either can see their cards sometimes or they can't. And they never even have to say out loud if they can or can't. And the last photo of scattered cards, they look at it, they can't see it. And then if take a step back, the cards that are scattered are actually in the shape of like 3 and a spade, if they were thinking of 3 of spades. But it's the method that is so unique with cognito.
Yeah.
And the many ways of achieving it by like using the timer inverted input and stuff. So that's the thing. If, like, for example, if cognito was, hey, go on my phone, type in a playing card into my notes, or search a playing card in Google, or you know what I mean, and then the image was there, that for me would be an absolute no-go. It wouldn't even get off the ground. So the caveat with cognito is they think of a playing card and it only ever exists in their mind. And the way that I structure it and the input options that I have, they don't even give any indicators that they're giving any information away about it. And then it's staring them literally right in the face before they never ever have to even say it out loud. They never say it, they never type it. And by having the inverted input, they never actually look at their card. Or they don't. Yeah, I can wax lyrical about it, but so there's a caveat to that. But it's even like when I created Cypher with Will Jones, the calculator, they type numbers in, they type their date of birth on a calculator, they type in other things, it times it up, and then it equals a number. But the reveal for me is always done on a lottery ticket or on a tattoo, which is off screen again.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm wrong on this subject as well. And I have to say that loud. I really don't know if you are. I fucking love David Jonathan. He's literally one of Magic's smartest, most creative, genius level thinkers. So I have to say that loud, and I don't want to upset him because I have my own standards for my own creations, and even I use apps that go against my own moral code. It's just
I get it. You're not wrong because it's subjective, like I say. It just depends on the performer, and I know the type of performer we are, so it all makes sense to you. I've just been chicken jockeyed. Ryland fucking changed the text tone on my phone to chicken jockey, and I can't change it back. He's locked it somehow, little twat.
My ringtone on my phone. There's this great Instagram video. There's a woman in an engine factory in China, and she's singing this cool song about engines, like car engines, and it's like funny. And I changed that to my ringtone.
Really?
And, and it goes off at the most inappropriate times, and I keep fucking forgetting.
That's funny. There we go. Boom. Right. More tricks. I think we've still got some more to look at. Let me just get back to my list. Okay, got it here. Right, we have God, where are we? Hang on. Just looking for those are old. Well, Murphy's Magic have just brought out Final Destination. Which looks to me like a multiple out thing.
Yes. I haven't seen it. I've watched the trailer, but I haven't seen what the trick is. They don't show the trick in the trailer. This is a strange one for people who don't understand. I work at Murphy's Magic. I develop products. I create products. But there are subsections of Murphy's, and a lot of us don't have any overlap whatsoever. So I create my own tricks, or I'll develop Craig's tricks. We work on projects together. So that's like Murphy's studio. But then like tricks like this come out, and I don't even know they exist. So
that's hilarious.
I literally, hand on my heart, I do not know what any of the outs are. So I can't. It's pretty like, you know, I work for the company, so I shouldn't be negative. But if I'm being honest, I have no fucking clue what that trick is.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Sorry.
That's hilarious. All right, okay. Well, it looks like
As in,
multiple
like,
outfit.
I've watched the trailer, I've tried to see what the trick is, and it makes no sense to me.
No, I would have liked to have seen a live performance on there, to be honest. Um, but you know, hey ho, it is what it is. The one that we need to talk about, and we
I will
kind of,
say, in defense of general multiple out tricks, I know some people don't like multiple out tricks. They
I
are
love them.
they're the most like, if performed correctly, potentially some of the most fooling magic out there. My favorite multiple out trick that I do is Michael Murray's one page advertisement trick. I did it on a Fooler episode with Kaylee. I can't remember the name of it. Let me find it because
I know the one you mean.
it's so good, and it's multiple outs.
Yeah. Oh God, what's it called? You literally have one page in your wallet.
Showreel, Showreel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Showreel by Michael. You have one page, and it looks like it's torn out of like an entertainment magazine. And you say, think of any film. Is it listed on there? Yeah, think of any film and think of the main character from the film. And then you predict it. And when you fold it up in like an origami sense, all the hidden words in the page start to pop out with like the lead actor's name, the film they were in. And it's all like, it's an
Yeah,
absolute
it's
mind
so
melt.
smart.
But you can only perform it once, and every time, or 20% of the time, it's the same or different. You know what I mean? Again, multiple outs, absolutely genius, and totally inexplicable to a lay audience. So in defense of multiple out effects, try some.
Exactly. Completely agree. And
Chris
this
Congreve showed me a really good one as well at Blackpool.
safe.
Safe. That was fucking phenomenal.
What I loved about Safe is it made you think it wasn't a multiple out, but it actually
Yeah.
was. The
Yeah.
method kind of counted. The method.
Have I fucked up by telling people it's a multiple out? I'm really sorry if I didn't.
No. He was very honest about it in the marketing. He was very honest about it in the advertising as well. But it's the smartest multiple out routine I've ever seen because it's a multiple out routine that makes you feel like it couldn't possibly be a multiple out routine. Which is just it leads them down a garden path and then just pulls the rug from under them, which is great. Yeah, well, I mean, it looks good. It looks good. I don't know, and anything that Javier produces will be great. So, what about
I don't think Javier produced it.
no, but I don't mean it's Javier's trick. He's probably on the tutorial. Like it'll be very easily.
Oh yeah.
I imagine if he's on the trailer, he's going to be on the tutorial. He's a very.
I don't even know. I don't know. That's how little I know about it. I literally know. Murphy's is absolutely huge. So
I can't imagine why they wouldn't have Javier do the tutorial. They employ Javier. Having Javier on staff and not do the tutorial for a magic effect is like owning a restaurant, having Gordon Ramsay on staff and having the head chef be Bob the dishwasher. Like he's so fucking good.
Such an amazing tutor. Fucking unbelievably good.
Yeah.
Here's a question. I think there's some have it and some do, but Mark Kirstein's apps, at least a lot of them that I've used, I learned them from the written instructions that there's an instruction page on them.
Yes.
So you get it and you read how it works and you go and perform it. I really like that way of learning.
Yep.
I really like that way of learning. And magic tricks only ever used to come with written instructions, physical books, right? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think they should make a comeback?
I think that written instructions should always be included. I really
written instructions only. And maybe you're the worst person in the world because you do 11-hour tutorials at times, but
I like written instructions because it gives me a good overview. I like having written. I like reading books though. I like written as long as they're written well. I actually think having a page of written instructions that kind of gives you an overview of how it works will be so beneficial to some magicians, because it means that you don't have to wade through a tutorial regardless of the length, because you can literally just, like, the amount of times that I'll buy something at a convention, and if it had some instructions, I'd be able to sit there and have a look at it and have a play around with it before I have to like go. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I
think it's like horses for different strokes, different folks. As in, if it was a multi-effect project like the Quantum Deck,
yeah,
it would be, you're writing a book for that, which is going to take months versus a couple of days of filming. But if it's a one trick effect, like a Demi Deck by Angelo Carbone, then a trick, it kind of really, you can't do that many things with it. Then I would not be against including written instructions with it, although it would take more time than filming a tutorial. There's something about it. There's something I like about being able to read and instantly go back and reference and take it at my own pace, and something, I don't know. I wonder how many people would agree, because again, different generations now. Not as many kids or people reading as they used to. I've read 66 books this year.
Wow, that's a lot.
But I know that not many. I was hoping to do 100, and I completely fucked it.
Well, you aim high, and then if you don't manage it, you've still done better. Like
if you don't manage it, you fail.
I've read 2 for the win.
Did they have pictures? And were they upside down?
Big pictures, lots of big pictures. Yes, lots of big pictures, and 2 really good characters in them as well. One was called Jack, and one was called Jill. It's,
Oh, that one where they like rolled around and
and there was a ball with a dog, and it was all good. Yeah, it was a great book.
Tell me you're not taking the Karmalovich approach. Hey, let me read your diary.
And we brought it back to Karmalovich again. There is a theme running through this episode.
Yeah.
Just because we haven't said it for a while.
Magic Cafe really don't want you to know about it. They really don't want you to know about it.
People are going to be watching
this. This is just a place for magic and bullying within magic, not bullying for their crimes. Hate me for my tricks, not for the kids I fuck. Okay. Got it. Capiche.
Oh boy, if this is somebody's
who is it? Someone said daughter of all book tests.
Daughter of all book tests.
There's my friend Darren Close.
Oh my god. Should we carry on and move from Ted Karmalovich briefly to Vanishing Ink?
Yes.
Specifically, what's your thoughts on Hex by Christian Grace?
Oh, it's a fucking brain spinner.
I've just dropped a review, and look, it's just come out, and we never talked about it last week. But in between last week and this week, I actually posted a review that I actually did a few months ago, when I first got it, because I picked it up at Magic Live. And my point is, it's very fucking clever. Like, it is genius level. I would never, if you sat me in a room and told me to create this effect using this method, I never would in a million years. It is.
Yeah, it's got a lovely combination of psychology and analog method. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, like numerical type method. It's barely anything, but it's a combination of 2 which kind of blurs the lines. It's not my favorite Christian Grace trick.
It's not mine. I didn't actually give it the greatest review.
I haven't seen it.
I didn't give it the greatest review. I actually said it's very clever. It's genius level thinking. But the problem is it's a little bit too convoluted for me. There's a little bit too much procedure. It's almost like a little bit too clever for its own good. The steps that you have to go through in order to get effectively what you could do by having a blank deck of cards with 1 printed card and a
I kind of feel the same. And you know how much of a massive, maybe the biggest Christian Grace fan out there. Like, I mean, half of the best Fooler episodes I put up are Christian Grace ones.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes you like a trick for its method. Sometimes you like it for its premise and method. When I watched the first thing for me when I watched it, I feel like I sussed the method, but it was more of, oh, I like that premise a lot, and here's how I would do it, or this is the way I would create the method. Like, you know what I mean? It was one of those things where I go, yeah, I'm just knowing me, like I'm a slob. I I would I wouldn't do it the way that Chris has got to it, but the thinking of the overall effect and the premise of it
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, oh fuck, I could sit down, I could just play with that for hours and go in 10 different directions with it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I couldn't agree with you more. I think if you're a Christian Grace fan, you're going to love it because it's not the first time Christians brought something out that's kind of procedural. And I think it's for me. You've seen my style. You've seen me perform in the real world
Oh,
enough
you are
times.
literally, you are it's like watching a gorilla trying to pick up grains of rice.
Yeah, it really is. It's like I've got no time for fannying around and convoluted procedure. I'm just like, I'm going to hit them, hit them, hit them, hit them, hit them. I'm going to beat the shit out of them with magic. And I didn't perform Enigma at all. I didn't get Enigma because as much as I thought it was genius and it was a fantastic method, and when Christian showed it me, it felt like real magic. I would never do what you need to do to make Enigma work. It's just not
Yeah,
something that
you're
I
not that
would.
magician. You just ain't that magician. Your magic is super commercial, close up gigging magician magic.
Yeah,
The type of magic Enigma is for someone like an Oz Perlman, the person who's going to go there and wear. Every magician wears a different costume when they perform, and
yeah,
some are there and they're going to tell you they can read your mind through NLP, and that's
yeah,
what they sell. Some of them are going to tell you, like Penatella, they can say this is all bullshit, but it's good fucking fun. Some of them are going to say, someone like you is going to go, I'm going to show you 1,000 cool pieces of magic in the next 10 minutes. Fuck off. Different hats. Every magician wears a different hat, so it's not, and this one wouldn't fit on your head.
no, not at all. But that doesn't mean it's not good. I think it's very, very good. I think it's very, very good. I just wouldn't do it myself. But I think
But
that
the
anybody
premise
who,
is, for anyone that hasn't seen it, you say to someone, here's a deck of cards. You're going to perform a ritual. You're going to think of a playing card and you're going to spell the card's name. And then when
yeah,
you get down to the last letter, like the 4 of clubs, on the S, hold it to your chest and place the rest of the deck on top. So you do that. And well, this is the tricky bit with it. I don't want to say too much, but I'll talk about the performance that I've seen. So they deal down to it and they look at the card, and it's not the card they were thinking of,
yeah,
but it was close, but still not the card they were thinking. And then the magician goes, "No, I know it's not your card, but I do know it was close. Your card was the 9 of clubs." And they go, "What the fuck? Yeah, it was. That was the card I was thinking of." And then you say, "The crazy thing is, I told you it was a ritual, but you see the deck that's over here, and the other cards that you spelled, all of them are blank. There was no other cards in the deck. And in fact, when you hand the card back to them, the card that you were holding, that never existed. Is that right? Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
card you were holding on
And
to
that's
was also blank. And none of this ever existed.
mm.
A bit like
And
the
that was
game.
part of my problem with it, which is it would be an infinitely much stronger effect if the card that was the only one printed was the card they thought of. It's almost a little bit anticlimactic, at least for me, that they think of a card and you're giving them that completely freedom of choice to think of any card, and then they're going through this procedure, which is leading them to another card. Now, sometimes that will be their card, but a lot of the time it won't be. It's almost like at that point you can't. Do you know what I mean? It feels like it would be, a layperson, at least from my experience, I think would be expecting the card they think of to be the only one printed in the deck. It's like there's no purpose of that card. It's almost like two tricks meshed together. The one trick is you're going to stop dealing anywhere you want to, and you're going to stop on the only printed card in the deck. Oh, and by the way, even that card is blank. And the other one is you're going to think of a card, and I'm going to tell you what the card is. And it's almost like those two tricks don't really mesh together because the think of a card one is more powerful. And lay people, I think, would go, or at least the way I perform, lay people would go, oh, that's really good, but why isn't the card I thought of the one printed in the deck and all the other ones are blank.
I feel like if I was gonna like, one of the ways like I would potentially have approached it would be this. So I'd say, so imagine I'm going to perform it to you, right? And I think this method is completely achievable. And knowing Christian, he probably covered this method and tested it and realized it wasn't as good as what he's got. So I'll pre-say that, but I don't know. But I would say to you, okay, Craig, before we begin, I have a playing card in my pocket. It's a prediction. And what we're going to try and do is using a ritual, see if I can influence you to think of the same card that I've predicted. Take this deck, think of any playing card, and spell down to it like this. So like the THEOF and whatever. Got it? Okay. So do that. And when you finish, hold the card against your chest. Done?
Yep.
Craig, don't tell me the card you're thinking of, but go ahead and show everyone, did you get it right? You turn around and show it, and it's the wrong card. Right? And you're like, oh, fuck. So the card you're thinking of wasn't that? Say, but look, that's not what I told you was going to happen, right? I said I made a prediction. In my pocket, there's one card, and you're holding the 9 of clubs. The card in my pocket is the 9 of clubs. Think about that. You could have dealt to anywhere in the entire fucking deck, and the one card that you stopped on was the exact card that I had in my pocket. Part one. Then I say, but that was improbable. What would be impossible? The next thing would be almost impossible. Would be, what is the card you're thinking of, Craig? And then you would say the card you're thinking of. I would turn the 9. Say you said the 4 of clubs, right? Like in the trailer. So you were thinking of the 4 of clubs. Written on the back of the 9 of clubs is the 4 of clubs, the one you were thinking of. My prediction, right? Which I think is completely possible with the method, right? Because you don't need. Yeah. And I say, now that, so the first thing was unlikely. The second thing would be improbable. The last thing is impossible. Look at the deck. Every single card in the entire deck is fucking blank. There's no way you could have stopped anywhere else in the entire thing. And I'm pretty sure, knowing the method, that that
would be possible.
Add something else to it. But for me, that would make more sense, right? Because everything builds.
Yeah.
Everything.
And so it makes sense of the 2 cards. You have a reason for that card. The one in your pocket having the prediction on the back. Yeah. So, I love that.
Yeah, and absolutely you get there because, so that's, I think, how I would do it. Although Christian Grace is smarter than me. So he probably thought of that and then probably tested it and found he was either too impractical or didn't hit as strongly as the way he's gone. But that's just how I would do it. And if you didn't do that and you're listening, Chris, I have a method for it in my head. Let me teach it to the people on my Patreon. I'm joking.
That's amazing. Yeah. Christian, hit us up. There's one more trick to talk about that's recently just come out at Black Friday.
Let me turn my heater off. It's
okay.
Yeah.
I'm freezing my ass off. Is from Vanishing Ink and Jackie Yu. You've got the Helix something or other.
Oh yeah, what the fuck is this? The Helix case.
Well, I saw it at Magic Live and it blew me away. It's effectively a deck production built into
a slinky.
Yeah, it's a slinky deck production, and I've seen Jackie Yu do this in his show. So this is something that Jackie actually uses. Now, I don't think I'm giving anything away by saying it uses black art in a very clever way.
But it's the right way to use black art, so it's completely practical.
Absolutely the right way to use black art. And I was at Vanishing Ink. I was at their booth with George, George Luck from Vanishing Ink.
Yeah.
And I went over before the dealer booth opened up, and I was like, "Hey, George, what you got?" And he said, "Have you seen this?" And he took me over to a table with a slinky on it. And I was like, "What slinky?" And he's like, "No, watch this." And he did the and a deck appeared. I was like, "Fuck!" I just didn't see that coming. And now you know the method. You kind of think, "Oh, is that obvious?" No, it's not. I was standing right next to that thing, and I had no idea what was going to go on. And it's so visual seeing that deck of cards appear. And the cool thing is, it's a regular deck of cards, and at that point, then nobody cares about the slinky. It's the deck of cards. We talk all the time about having a strong opener and having something, that allows you to start strong and visual and so on and so forth. This is a great opening trick for a show.
Yeah, it's super cool. I think it's just so visual. It's just like kind of like a perfect little thing to open a show with to get your cards into play. I can see a question on Vanishing saying, someone saying, I've never seen a rectangular shaped slinky. May this be done with a real slinky? And someone said you might be able to adapt the method to a cylindrical slinky. I think I've seen it done with a cylindrical slinky, but not with a deck inside. I think Kyle Marlett did it at some point on his social media recently with a cylindrical. I don't know who did it first. I don't give a shit about it. But yeah, but the method essentially is transferable as well to other shaped slinkies. But man, like it's just cool. It's just completely out of left field, really weird, but at the same time familiar. And you could probably do other things with it too. It's not just a deck of cards. You could produce, if you had a round slinky, it'd be the fucking dude. Imagine instead of doing a chop cup routine, you did a slinky routine. Oh my god! Imagine like, okay, oh my god, instead of cylinder and coins, you do slinky and balls.
A friend of mine is working on something like that. He's got a prototype for a slinky deck, a slinky chop cup.
Oh my god! I bet I can guess who that is.
I bet you can't. He's very underground. You've met him, but he's very underground. You have met him.
First name beginning with a D?
No.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
If I typed it into the chat, I still don't know.
Oh, yes. Yeah, actually, he messaged me about a different trick the other day. Not that, but a different trick. Another great trick.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's
he had that wallet trick in Blackpool a couple of years ago, remember?
Yeah, he's creating a lot of stuff at the moment. He's working on something, is actively working on something with TCC and Alakazam.
Man, TCC, where have these guys? I know they've been around, but like, where have these guys come from lately? They are smashing it.
Well, I brought out the Spectrum Sharpie at Blackpool with TCC.
So it's thanks to you.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is they were a wonderful company to deal with. And it's really interesting how I actually started working with TCC, because if you remember, I had this Spectrum Sharpie idea and I wanted to do color changing knives with Sharpies. And I spoke to you about it and you were like, oh, no, there's no way that Murphy's will do that because of the Sharpie logo. I spoke to Penguin about it. They were like, oh, no, we're going to get in trouble with Sharpie. I spoke to Alakazam about it. They were like, no. And I was like, oh, fuck, I really want this because I want it for myself. I spoke to TCC and they were like, we don't give a fuck. Fuck Sharpie.
They're like, cash me outside. We're in China, motherfucker. Try and use your US copyright laws over here.
Yeah, bring it on, bitches.
We just look at those laws and we delete them. Bosh.
So, yeah.
Do you know what the funny thing is? And I don't think I'm like being offensive here, but I've been told multiple times from multiple friends who live in China and Asia, is that their views, the cultural views on replication of existing ideas are very different to ours. They think that it's almost a given because in like the technology trade, they don't spend time trying to say, hey, you stole my idea. They're just constantly trying to adapt and improve what exists. So it's not it's not trying to have ownership over unique concepts, but it's more about like who can push it the furthest. And my understanding, at least from like 20 years in this industry, is that they see that very similar to Magic, and oftentimes they're just like, well, I'm going to do it better now, and I'm probably being I don't if I am being derogatory or offensive in any way, I genuinely don't mean it. But my understanding and what I've been told, like their lines are different to ours, but it's not like they were raised to think differently. You know?
Yeah. Well, I've met Jay many times from TCC, and he's always a lovely guy, and they're so passionate and they're very good at communicating with artists and everything. Just a really good company. I'm very high on TCC, and they're bringing out so much stuff right now. I want to know if TCC and Peter are linked together or not. It feels like they are.
Potato?
No, I used to think it was Patata until I actually had a couple of their items, and they constantly say over and over again in the tutorial, Peter. So I'm going to pay them the respect that they deserve and say that their company name is Peter. Even though it's not, it's fucking Patata, but whatever, it's Peter.
They are one of the... So their products are amazing. but they're one of the worst branded companies I've ever seen in Magic or outside of Magic. And the same for Earvel. That brand name is, again, another company that makes phenomenal products and just has and it possibly because, it's not the same language. So in their country, it's probably a normal word, but as a brand name to somebody who speaks English, which seems to be predominantly, like, in the Magic industry, the most widely spoken language, it is just the fucking worst name I can think of. If I was them and they want to take their companies to the next level, I'd get a branding and marketing expert in, and I would completely rebrand. Rebrand.
Yeah, I would agree with that personally. Yeah,
not that that's important. It's more about what's important is the tricks and the products. But
yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I am convinced that Peter and TCC are the same people.
Well, Sans Mind used to do what was the Sky Member? That's Sans Mind. They had an offshoot company, and they would use that to sell products that weren't theirs to sell.
Really?
Everyone knows that. I mean, that's not even.
I didn't know that. No, maybe I did know that. I can't remember.
Any product that fucking they wanted to sell.
It makes sense because every single Sky Member trick was a complete and total sack of bullshit, and Sans Minds were the dodgiest little fucking company of all time. And that little Australian guy that they had at the end that were doing their trailers, I wanted to literally grab him and systematically, step by step, beat the ever loving shit out of him. I fucking hated that guy so much, and I'm not a violent person. Not the little Australian guy that was like, "Hey, my name's Tony, and welcome to Sans Mind's Magic." It's like he didn't even fucking do magic. He just stood there.
I'm Sans Mind, Chris.
He was so fucking annoying.
Don't be a bully.
Not being a bully. He was just really annoying. He grated me.
There's nothing wrong with it. I thought he was quite endearing because he was like doing his best. He'd been given an impossible task of being the face of a shit company. And the thing was, they weren't shit, and they were shit. They were shit in terms of a lot of the ethical decisions were shit.
But they brought out
the way they
great
treated
products.
some people was really shit.
Look at the Zippo lighter thing. That was amazing.
Zippo lighter was a fantastic product. The Vanishing Ring Box, fantastic product. A lot of their products were absolute hot dog shit as well. Yeah. Questionable ethics. But, Chris at Sans Mind was the face of them, and I don't think he ever did anything wrong. I think he.
I just didn't like him. I trying to listen to his tutorials just grated on me. But I'll tell you who I did like, and we haven't seen him for a while. Chris Ballinger from Magic Geek.
Dude, oh my god, he his path is crazy. So he now for years has a massive YouTube channel, and I think they're called the Ballingers, and it's all family YouTube stuff. So. Yeah, so
I remember seeing a few of his YouTube videos.
Absolutely massive, like millions of subscribers, and they just like all about kids and family. But there was a huge viral video where a woman on YouTube, and I'm very careful here to say what she did, but she was involved in the exploitation of minors, or she did some questionable acts with minors, and she was a kids channel. And she blew up, and it was all over the front page of Reddit. It was all over like every blog and YouTube thing. And she ended up apologizing for the shit that she did by singing a song with a guitar. And everyone was like, what the fuck? And it was like one of the most bizarre online toxic parasocial things that happened in the last few years. Again, this channel.
Can I just check what is that? What's that got to do with Chris Ballinger? Is that?
Turns out it was his sister.
Fuck! Really?
Yeah. YouTuber apologizes with guitar. And again, I don't know if they're even friends with each other anymore. But so the YouTube video was like captioned. It's called The Worst Apology Ever. The caption of the video was called "Hi, Colleen Vlogs," and she's got 2.94 million subscribers. This video has got 20 million views. The top comment says, "You should have listened to the PR team, girl." And someone said, "I had a feeling Colleen would come back and do something like this." So yeah, Colleen vlogs. And what did she do? Summarize the Colleen vlogs guitar drama. Let me see if Google can tell me this. The allegations: multiple former fans, including YouTuber Adam McIntyre, came forward with allegations that Ballinger, because that's her surname, who was in her late 30s at the time of the controversy, had engaged in inappropriate communication with them when they were minors. The alleged behavior included sharing overly personal and mature details about her marriage, divorce, sex life, and trauma with young fans in a private group chat, asking minors about their virginity and favorite sexual positions, using her young fans for free content ideas and emotional support, while allegedly manipulating them into defending her online. And an ex-employee further alleged she sent nude photos of another celebrity called Trisha Paytas to him when he was a minor. Then the apology video: several weeks after the allegations surfaced, Ballinger posted a video titled "Hi" to her Colleen Vlogs channel. In it, she dismissed the accusations as lies and gossip made up for clout. The elements that caused significant backlash were the song and the ukulele. So instead of a traditional serious apology video, she sat casually and performed an original song accompanied by a ukulele about a toxic gossip train. She trivialized the issues, and she denied that she did any harm. In the aftermath, the video received immediate and widespread negative reactions, leading to intense public backlash and online parodies. Ballinger cancelled her remaining 2023 live shows, and she largely disappeared from the public eye. Then she later resumed. So yeah, let me see. Let me play a little video clip of see if you can hear the song.
I can't hear anything.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, it's called "Hi" Colleen Vlogs. So yeah, she was a dirty little fucking rat with these kids, and yeah, she fucking traumatized kids in a sexual manner online, and sounds like she was overall a horrific human being. But she would be able to post freely on the Magic Cafe. That's a fact, as long as she just created one magic trick. That was a safe place there. But anyway, yeah, so she's Chris Ballinger from Magic Geek's sister.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. So, but Chris hasn't had any controversy like that. He's just posting wholesome YouTube videos about his family.
I think so, yeah. What are they called? Are they the fucking, I'm searching on YouTube, the Ballingers, the Ballinger family. Let me see where they're at. Yeah, they got 3.15 million followers, subscribers on YouTube. Shut the fuck up, that way. Where are they? Oh, they're currently in Spain, it looks like. I don't think they're in any hot water. Let me see what their most popular video is. Yeah, their most popular video is their kid getting makeup to look like some celebrity. So I don't think they're posting with like ukuleles.
Oh, still doing a bit of magic then.
I'm going to try and read your mind.
Is he?
I have this fun.
A little bit, yeah.
Good.
I've just gone on there and
they're living in Spain by the look of things, are they?
He's done a few shorts about mind reading and so on and so forth.
Oh, they're totally living in Spain.
Oh wow.
Oh my god. Oh my god, imagine the next video he puts up. This trick is done with emotion. This is about the heart of the magic. Fucking hell.
Well, we've covered new products. We've figured out where Chris Ballinger is. We've roasted the Magic Cafe throughout the video.
Roasted seems like it's we haven't roasted them. We've called them into account.
We've
paedophile enablers.
Called out their bullshit. We've called out their bullshit.
We put them straight. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I think it's going to fall on deaf ears.
There is no excuse in the fucking world, to cover up someone's sex crimes, especially on a magic forum. You disgusting fucking animal.
You do realize that we're going to get You do realize we're going to get the jerks treatment on there. Like anybody mentions Craig and Lloyd, they're just going to be blanket deletion.
Cool.
Love it. Love it.
Who gives a fuck?
Nobody.
Like it's like saying, oh, Kelly's not going to be my friend because I called him a nonce. Oh, Kelly's never going to put my name in his songs ever again because I called him out for fucking little kids.
Yes, there is that.
Or, hear me out. They could actually make a statement saying Ted Karmalovich was a convicted paedophile, and it's important that everybody knows that. And they could put it on a banner, on the homepage, on the fucking thread, let people freely talk about it. And if they want to, send them off to another part of the forum where they can discuss how they've been affected by this or how they feel about this. And they could do the morally right thing. Something tells me that paedophile enablers never do that, though.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
No.
A leopard doesn't change their spots.
No.
It's not going to happen.
They just fuck kids. I mean, Ted Karmalovich. I don't think the Magic Cafe people necessarily fuck kids themselves. They're just acting the same. They're doing same things. They have the same MOs. You know, like pedophiles try to cover up their crimes.
They're doing the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing behind closed doors, but publicly they're covering up the crimes of a pedophile.
They are. That is fact. That is undeniable that they are not allowing people to talk about something that a lot of people on the Magic Cafe want to talk about. And it's not. It's been discussed.
Whether or not they want to talk about it, they absolutely should, and they do have the right to know. And to take that from them is abhorrent. And I can sit there and smile when I say that because I've got the moral high ground on this one. I don't fuck kids, and I don't cover up people who fuck kids' crimes.
You know who you know who is a real loser in this situation outside of the people that got affected by the crime that he got committed for, that he got arrested and
people who bought the book and are regretting it.
Yes, but also you got to feel sorry a little bit for Penguin Magic as well, because it must have been a huge investment to have that book. And I don't think they would have known about it ahead of time. I'm 99.999% sure that they wouldn't know about it ahead of time.
However, I will say, and I love Penguin, they are such a high profit company, and they have so much money in the bank. They should just delete that book off the site. It's pretty fucking simple. If I was a business and I was in negative figures, first thing I'd be doing, gone. Fuck, what a fucking hit to my bottom line. Shit. Okay, but I ain't condoning pedophile behavior.
Yeah.
Really? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Tell me, Craig, should they delete it? Honestly, be honest. I know how tight you are with Penguin, right? Should they delete it? I'm telling you now, I work at Murphy's. They should delete it if it's for sale on there. There's not even it's not really a debate, is it?
No, it's really not. No, it's not a debate at all. No. Yeah.
It's got to go. It's got to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Allegations have been brought to light that we were not aware of during the process of making this material. Therefore, we are removing it from sale.
I suppose it's a little bit like releasing a trick where you didn't realize it had already been made before. And it's already on the market, available to buy.
Yeah.
And you go, right, okay, I'm gonna have to just cut my losses on that one. It would definitely buy them goodwill, because there's a lot of people that are talking negatively about this whole situation right now. But there are obviously a lot of people that are unaware of this whole situation. And the reason I say that is because it got released a week ago or something like that. And you look at it on Penguin, it's number 4 in the charts.
Sickening. They need to refund everyone and say, fucking sorry, we didn't know about these allegations. We can't, with a clear conscience, continue to distribute these books. I know there's such a thing as separate the man from the artist, but he spent 5 years in prison for fucking a kid.
And again, this isn't allegations, this isn't conjecture, this isn't rumor, this is fact.
Fact. He factually fucked a kid for 7 months.
And he was his teacher. He was her teacher. he had
Books
a
have got to
position
go.
of, huh?
The books have got to go. I'm not. I have a big thing.
I'm glad. Look, all I
there's a
can
whole.
say is I'm glad. I'm glad it's not my fucking call. That's not a call that I would want to make.
But it's an easy call.
It is
It's
an
a
easy
no-brainer
call,
especially
but
for a company that makes millions in profit. If it was a struggling company, like somebody who was just opening out the garage, they put their life savings into it, I'd be like, fuck, oh God, maybe try and recoup your costs, and then burn it. And I'm a big proponent for not burning books. I do believe all books should exist, but there's a difference between the book existing and the book being actively sold. Like, for example, I think one of the worst humans that have ever walked the earth was Hitler. But I think it's important that his book, Mein Kampf, is viewable to learn from the mistakes and to see the crazy, you have to learn, like history is normally written by the victors, but it should at least be kept as a tome somewhere. But it absolutely should not be sold in Waterstones.
So the question then becomes, like, how far do you take this? And what I mean by that is,
take it off sale.
No, I get that. But okay, this guy was responsible for creating the mother of all book tests, possibly, do you say, right, okay, any product that incorporates the mother of all book tests should go, or performers who use the mother of all book tests should stop performing it immediately? Because surely that's the same thing, regardless of whether they've bought the book a week ago or whether they've bought the mother of all book tests a decade ago.
I think they should, first of all, they should be allowed to know. They should be allowed to know. They should absolutely be brought. It should be brought to their attention. Secondly, it's a different thing. It's if they've already bought it, if that's happened, the only thing we can change is the future.
Yeah.
Right. If it's currently on sale as a new product, it's got to go.
Yeah.
Right. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're not. Like I say, I wouldn't like to make that call because from a business point of view, from a business decision, it's a difficult decision to make.
But they find it, but every company finds it easy to remove a product from sale when it turns out it's been done before, or most companies do, right?
Yeah.
They go, oh, fuck, didn't realize, shit, oh, it's going to suck. We're going to lose 0.1% of profits this year. So it's an even easier decision, or it should be, if it's been brought to light that the person was a fucking convicted pedophile. That's worse than stealing a trick.
Yeah, way worse. Way worse. Yeah. I'm really tired. I mean, look at my fucking...
I know. I put you in an awkward position. Yeah. I know I put you in an awkward position, but I'm just saying, the same thing goes for Murphy's. They can't sell it as well. They shouldn't sell it either.
Yeah.
You can't have the argument, oh, we just sell everything. Nah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Look at me. I feel so fucking on the moral high ground for once in my life. You know what? Looking up at people being like, what's it like up there? What's the weather like? It's fucking horrible down here.
You know what this podcast needs? You know what we haven't had up until this point? And what this needs to bring this podcast to a successful conclusion? A cowboy magician. That's what we need. Can we make that happen? Can we have...
Let's do it. Yes, let's do it.
What have we got? Are you able to play that and share the audio? Or do you want to... because if you share the audio, it'll come across crystal clear. If you can't do that, send me the audio file and I'll do it. Okay,
let me save to down... What the fuck? It says media can't be saved. Let me see if I can...
Once again, this is why you love the Magic Podcast, because...
Can you try and save it? I've forwarded it to you. Can you try and save it on your phone? Because I'm on my desktop, so it might not let me...
Where have you sent it to? Email?
WhatsApp.
Okay, well, that's actually good, because if I share the audio, I've got WhatsApp on my computer. Let me see if I can do this. Share sound. Hang on. Optimize for video sharing. Share sound. Advanced. 1 minute. Hang on. Second camera. Computer audio. Share. Right. I'm sharing my computer audio. which means that when I play this, it should be crystal clear for you and everyone else, in which case it's a winner. Right, Lloyd, just give me a thumbs up and let me know if you can hear this. If you can, it means that we are good to go. If we can hear it, this is Tyler Lunsford. Our first, since the Magic Podcast come back, our first readers listener question. Here we go.
Yeehaw! It's the cowboy magician getting back in the saddle, baby. Oh my gosh, knocking a little rust off this thing. Goodness, boys, it's been a while. Miss you two. Yeah, I just had to pop back in and take my rightful place in the Q&A section with Mr. Witty. So, just wanted to pop in and ask you guys a quick question. The question is, this is inspired by your talk of releasing app magic, or anybody can release anything last week, and people release stuff too early, or it's shit and all this. But how do you guys think that your individual positions in the magic community, when it comes to creating, influences your view of releasing magic? And what I mean by this is, Lloyd, you create for Murphy's, but it's not like you're really creating to, sell your magic and make a profit for you. You're working for Murphy's to make other people's magic projects better and to make money for Murphy's with your products. And then Craig, you're in a position where, you have other streams of revenue where, producing magic and selling tricks is not, monetarily driven for you. It's not going to make your lifestyle any different if you didn't have the money coming in from the magic that you release. So my question is, do you think that because you're both in this unique position where you get to have fun creating magic and not worried about the money that it brings in, means that you get to create maybe more freely, or you could take a little bit more time on bringing something to market versus somebody who needs to get a product out because they believe they have something good, but maybe they rush it a little bit soon just because they need the money because this is their livelihood, or it's a big part of their income, or something related to that. Just wanted to know what you guys thought about that. So yeah, it's a good thing you guys don't need that money because the shit doesn't sell anyways. So yeah, fuck right off. Can't wait to see you at Blackpool. Have a shit week, cunts, and Pete Nardi's massive balls.
Yeah.
So good to have him back.
It's so nice that Tyler came up for breath after spending so long eating his sister's hoo-ha out. He married his sister a couple of months ago. I'm so happy for him that he gets to spend time now away from her vagina to make a little question. You want to take it first, or whatever?
Well, it's a really great question. Actually, it's a very, very insightful question, and it's really. Here's the thing, the point was, can we create more freely than somebody who does it for monetary gain? I don't think these days there's any creator in magic that relies on creating solely for 100% income. I don't think there is. I now, in the old days there were. Maybe Michael Amar.
The old days you totally could as well.
Yeah, the old days you could. You could literally go on the convention circuit. You could go from convention to convention to convention.
You still can. You still can as well.
Yeah, but I don't think people do. Like, I think that most creators these days, like, who's the best? Tobias Dostal. He's not just creating magic. You and I both know that Toby is also a performer, and
he's also a professional. He's actually a professional like sculptor type artist. Like, he exhibits a lot of work around the world.
But you look at the best creators in the world, the people who make the most money as a creator. And I know that it's not always about money, but we're talking about money in the context of this question. I don't think that there's anyone these days. As I say, I was speaking to Michael Amar because we filmed the Penguin Holiday special together. And Michael, I wouldn't be surprised if he was, because he was talking about his schedule, and he's just done a month tour of Europe, and before that he did a month tour of England, and then he was just going to Thailand to do a series of dates in Thailand, and they just filmed a bunch of stuff with Penguin, and now he's going to go and do that. I would imagine Michael Amar potentially, but I'm pretty sure most creators don't rely solely on the money that they make from creating. And I think that the advice that I would give anybody who's a creator or wants to be a creator is if you're in a situation where you feel that you need to become a creator to make money urgently, because the question was, do you feel that, somebody who rushes it to market because they need the money? If you are in a position where you need money on a regular basis and you're hoping that creating will help with that, don't be a creator. You should never be a creator if it's monetary driven, at least in my opinion, because creating magic is a calling. If you are, at least in my opinion, I think that if you are looking at creating magic as a way of making a sustainable income, can it be done? Yes. But I think that will ultimately affect what you're creating. I see magicians who are professional magicians, and I've seen magicians who I've spoken to, and they're like, well, the only reason I do this is because it's an easy way to make money. And you can see when they're at gigs, they're going through the motions. They've done the same 6 or 7 tricks they've done for the last 10 years. And you can't do that as a creator. You can get away with that as a professional magician. You can get away with doing the same 6 or 7 tricks, but creating, at least doing it to any level where you're going to have a product that ultimately is successful, it takes time, it takes effort. There's going to be so many times when you're going to bin something because it's not worked. You're going to get to a certain point and you think you've got it, and then you go right back to zero, or you have to pull it because it's already been done and you weren't aware of that. There's a million different things that will affect the process of creativity, and it's not like it's a guaranteed income immediately, because you don't know how long that trick's going to take to create, and then you don't even know, are you going to bring it out yourself? Are you going to have a production company that's going to be able to do it for you? Like, there's so many question marks over the whole process of creating. The biggest point that I would make on the question is, I don't think anybody should put themselves into a position where their financial stability revolves around whether they are a successful creator or not.
What was the question? It was, how do you think it makes you differ in your creations?
So the question was, you and I, we create magic because we want to, not because we have to. You, because you're paid by Murphy's, and therefore you don't make any money from the tricks you create, so you can take.
And I don't know how. I specifically don't have to put any tricks out with my name on it ever.
I know.
So if I want to, I can literally just release products that have been brought in, like the stuff you submit to Murphy's and other people.
Yep.
I can actually kind of speak from both sides of the coin, because when I was at another magic company, I was made essentially to release stuff and come up with tricks to sell as fast as I could with my name on them, specifically because the company wasn't doing too good, or there was things that other people hadn't delivered their products that they had to release for the company. So it was very often, Lloyd, you got to create a midweek release for us, or Lloyd, you got to sell this, and it destroyed me and I say this in the loosest terms possible, but it destroyed my artistic integrity. Any integrity that I ever felt like I had as an artist was gone. I felt morally bankrupt, or artistically bankrupt. And that's why when I quit that company in a ball of flames, I then decided to start the YouTube channel and give away as much as I could for free. So that's why I have this entire huge fucking library and I kind of wanted to set a new precedent of, and I say it in like one of my first videos.
You even left magic for a while, didn't you? Because I seem to
never
remember...
left magic. I refused to earn money from magic.
Yeah, I remember doing for the people that don't know, me and Lloyd met when I interviewed him for my YouTube channel, and me and Lloyd never spoke before I interviewed him, and I've always been a huge fan of his work at various other companies, but I've never actually met him. And I reached out to him and said, let's do an interview. And I remember the interview that I did with you, and you were really, you talked about how you were considering maybe going into photography, and you were maybe going into videography away from magic, because I'm sure that, I mean, it was about 5 years ago.
Say it again, my internet went...
I'm fairly sure that in the interview I did with you, after leaving you kind of talked about how you were thinking for a while about going and doing videography away from magic and photography away from magic, and you were thinking about moving into that kind of area. I might be wrong because it was so long ago that I did that interview, but is that right, or was that not? Because you didn't go straight from the one company and start in Murphy's. There was a period of time where you were kind of weighing up.
So I didn't, basically I'd spent so long being used as a cow to milk for my ideas. And I hated, like, obviously I had to like the idea and love it. And strangely enough, some of the best things I put out were things that I created out of force and under pressure, being told that there had to be something. And they're still some of the most popular things I see today. So it's a kind of a strange one because I didn't create them from a place purely of love, purely from an artistic position. It was from a roof over your head position where it was like, hey, fucking, that's your job. You don't do your job, you don't get your fucking bills paid. So when I quit, I had a complete. I was free to do or treat magic how I wanted to, and I really didn't want to. I wanted to separate money from magic, so I wanted to only do it artistically. So then I opened up the YouTube channel, and it was like, I'm going to give you every idea that I think is worth sharing. I'm going to teach you as many magic things as I can. I see a lot of downloads out there that are sold, and I don't think they're worth the money they're being sold for. So I'm going to try and reshape how a lot of you see gimmick downloads, and I'm going to whatever, and just try and give. And the big part of it was to give back to the community as much as I felt like I had taken, or being forced to being put in a position. It was just fucking horrible. So I did. I went on this tirade. It was like at least 2 years straight. I didn't miss a single tutorial Tuesday. It was 104 tutorials. And some of it was my, a lot of those ideas were my best ideas. And then I fell back in love with magic in terms of every facet of it. And I could not stop thinking about magic because I felt the love again to the point where I could do anything else. So I decided that I wanted to be back in the industry so I could spend all of my time doing magic and pay the bills with it. But it had to be on my own terms in a way that I was just doing magic all day, every day. And any release that came out with my name in it had to be something that I had been using, I was in love with, and other people wanted. Like there was demand for whatever it was before it became thought of as a product. And that's why in the last 6 years, I think there are 6 Lloyd Barnes products out. I want to say
not many at all.
So I think 2 or 3 were in 1 year, and then the rest were drip fed. So you can see, like, I think I had 50 products overall, or 20 in 1 year when I used to work at another company. And yeah, so that's a fucking huge change. So the difference for me is the hard thing is just, again, like to stomach, which is some of those tricks I was forced to put out did really well. And I kind of love them, but I don't love the sentiment behind them, which is too to say. But the difference is, I feel the difference is that to summarize it all, and you see this, you can correlate. You can think of certain people who have definitely done this. They kind of burn fast. Burn fast. So they'll put out a trick. Maybe it is a good trick, and then the second time they're like, right, I got to pay bills this month. I'll force this out. Not as good. And then it starts to become very apparent that it's just for money, and then they fizzle out very quickly. I think the reason why me and you, and I'm not saying we're good magicians and we have good products, I think the reason we're still around and we're very fortunate to almost everything we touch, because you've had some bum releases, I've had some bum releases. It's often the ones you think are going to do well do bad, and the ones you think are going to do bad do well. Because sometimes you think, oh, I love this trick, but I don't think everyone else is going to love it, but I love it. Then the ones you think of like that do really well, and the ones you think, oh, I think everyone's going to like this, whatever. But I think the reason why, on the whole, on the large majority of stuff, and it sounds really egotistical, but most of the things we put out sell massive numbers, is because we're not doing it for money.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I've said to some of my closest friends, including you and Nemeth Phoenix and people like that, I've said, look, I bring out a lot of magic, but if I ever get to a point where I'm bringing something out and you think, oh my God, that's terrible, please tell me, because I want to know. If I ever lose my ability to realize that, please let me know. But I do bring out a lot of magic, but it's not for a monetary gain point of view. I bring it out because I'm just thinking about magic 24/7. It's my safe space. I work in an office running 2 entertainment companies, and it can be very high stress. And the thing that I use to escape from that stress is nothing chills me out more than going to the office at the bottom of my garden, surrounding myself with some cards and some coins and stuff, and just coming up with routines. A lot of the stuff that I create, you're never going to see the light of day. It's created just for me and for nobody else. And you know, I go through a very rigorous. I think the thing I have going for me as a creator is I perform a lot. I go out and gig a lot. Like this week, I think I'm doing 15 shows. And the stuff that I'm working with at the moment is the stuff that you're going to be seeing in like a year's time. It's the stuff, it's what's in this magical box that you sent me. It's that,
shit.
yeah. It's that's the stuff that I'm doing because I refuse to work on my project or somebody else's project until I believe it's good enough to release. So the perfect example is the button by Chris James. You know, that's a very long tutorial. I put a lot of routines on there. But when Chris asked me to be a part of it, I was like, well, send me one. Let me work with it. Let me play with it. Let me see what I think about it. Let me see what I can come up with, because there's no point in me being on the project if I can't add value. And luckily I was able to. Lots of people ask me to be on their projects all the time. And a lot of the time I end up not being on them because I don't feel I can contribute anything. But for me, creating isn't for money. It's because I just love the process. I love the process, and I believe that if something's come out, the reason it's come out is because the reason I think it adds value to magic as a whole. I wouldn't bring anything out if I didn't think that it added value. That's and I think that to answer the other half of the question, do I think that people who release magic that do need to do it for the money, I think that ultimately, if it's all about the money, and I don't want to use this name, I don't want to use this name, I don't
Don't
want to,
say it. You aren't going to say it.
you know who I'm talking about.
I think so.
Yeah. I think we all know who I'm talking about. But there's certain people who I consider, fuck it, I'm saying it. So fuck it. No, because the person I'm talking about is an incredible creator of magic, and I think is responsible for some of the best tricks ever created, and that is Jay Sankey. You look at Paperclipped, you look at Inner Flash, you look at his early
Jay
work.
Sankey?
Sankey is incredible as a
Oh
creator.
no, but yeah, I don't think he creates for money. See,
You don't think Jay Sankey creates for money?
well, I think it's a tricky
Are you
one.
having a laugh?
I think he's similar to you, Craig. I think if he didn't create a new trick for another 5
No,
years,
I agree with that, but you have to agree that the level of the quality of the work that he brings out now has gone down a little bit compared to where it was.
I can't. Okay, I haven't seen the new releases. I don't know what they are, so I can't comment on that. But I think it's a safe bet. I don't know him either. So just to play devil's advocate.
Neither do I. And look, Jay Sankey, I will say it first and foremost, is a legend and has done more for this industry than almost any other creator that has ever existed or will exist. If there was a Mount Rushmore of creators in Magic, it would be people like him and Paul Harris that would be on that.
I think, let me say this, right? If he didn't release another trick for the next 10 years, he'd probably still pay his bills off his back catalogue.
Yeah.
Right? Probably still residually. I kind of think he's a bit like you, Craig, in which he cannot stop creating magic. He cannot stop it. Like me and you, all day, every day, we're just thinking about new tricks. His life, his business in general is make trick, film it, sell it. Make trick, film it, sell it. The thing with Sankey is, though, that like they're all good. I don't think like his bad trick is somebody else's best trick. I don't know. I don't think it's maybe I'm wrong though, but I think maybe I was thinking of somebody else. Somebody's name beginning with a P.
Look, we've talked about Paul Harris last week.
No. I'm not naming names. I'm just saying one singular letter, not even a surname letter.
Send me that. I need to know. He's sending it in the chat. Oh, fuck me. Yes.
When I put a name like that, you realize the difference between somebody who actually is.
Jay Sankey, I publicly apologize to you. I forgot about that motherfucker. Yeah, okay. He's a guy that's doing it just for money.
Not Jay Sankey, the guy I've just typed. We're not
the guy that you've just typed in the chat, who I'm not.
And there's others like him, and you go, oh yeah, that's what we mean. Jay Sankey's business is creating magic. I think there's a difference when it's and you're good, and it's what he was born to do. right? I think he gets up, even if he is doing it purely for money. I don't think he is, but I think he gets a pass because he's one of those people that on his worst day, his worst trick ever is worth buying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get so much value for money out of it.
And like I say, he should be on the Mount Rushmore of magicians, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. But that guy, that motherfucker.
Yeah, him. Fuck him. Fuck him all the way down to fuckville. Fuck him all the way to the 7 stages of hell.
Right next to the moderators of the Magic Cafe.
There you go. I'll set him up. You knock him down.
I don't want to go near those fucking slime balls. But yeah, I think, yeah, it is funny. Do you know what? Like, you think years ago, there would be so many creators that would just have a regular week release. And a lot of them were good, though, right? And and they were making their annual income off it. And it doesn't seem like there's that many now.
No, there's not. There's not. I think that most creators, I think there's a few different reasons for it. I think one of the reasons is there's so many fucking tricks come out. Like, you look at 10 years ago, you had people like Greg Wilson, perfect example, who did the rounds and would literally just be creating stuff to do at lectures, then would eventually sell it through a company and so on and so forth. Greg is now the golf magician, right?
Yes, I did see that. And he has some amazing things, actually.
He's got some amazing stuff. He's niched into, I mean, away from creating, because he still does that, but he's got this whole brand set up as the golfing magician, and he's got like huge social media presence of like him going to golfing games and like, you know, blowing people away at golfing societies and so on and so forth. And he's making bank going and performing in that kind of arena. Super fucking smart. But, you know, the point is, I don't think there's people, even the people that could, you'd look at somebody like, you know, Tobias Dostal, and you'd be thinking, well, you know, how clever he is and how diverse his tricks are. He could do it if he wants to, but he doesn't want to. I think that the days of like a full-time creator of magic, I think those days have gone.
Yeah. Although I think it would be easy to do. Well, I'm speaking it from a purely personal point of view. I don't think it would be difficult if you had a bit of a following and you were choosing the right stuff to put out. You know, you were selective with it. But then, yeah, if you ever got into that trap where you're just putting out stuff for the sake of putting out stuff, then
but then your product is you. And if you ever have burnout, or you ever have you know, I don't know, writer's block, creativity challenge, whatever the case may be, at that point, then what do? Your business grinds to a halt. Like, I've had times in the past running my companies where I've just been like, I've walked in the office and I'm like, I just don't want to fucking do this today. I don't fucking want to do this. And I've walked away and I've not done it. And the business has continued to go because of the staff in the office doing it for me. Like, when you are a creator, it's not like you have a staff around you. You are the one creating. If anything well, okay, case in point, and we've not talked about this, you know, on the day of filming, Eric Jones has just announced that he's had 2 strokes and a heart and
oh yeah, fuck, please,
and Jesus fucking Christ, go and support him. He has a GoFundMe at the moment. Go and support Eric Jones and send him money. I will be, as soon I literally
help pay for his costs. Yeah, can we talk about this for a minute? I fucking love Eric.
I noticed this just before I came on the filming the podcast, but because we're filming this on the Wednesday morning, and I will be donating to him the second I get off this call.
So just go into GoFundMe and type in Eric Jones, and it's called Help Eric Jones Through Cardiac Recovery. Basically, what happened is earlier this year, Eric experienced a sudden medical emergency that brought everything to a halt. After extensive testing, doctors discovered that his heart was functioning at less than 20% capacity and that 2 blood clots had formed in the lower chambers of his heart. His cardiology team immediately placed him on blood thinners and recommended an urgent heart cauterization, which was performed the same day. When Eric woke up from anesthesia, something was wrong. His speech was impaired and he was unable to use his right arm. Doctors witnessed him having a seizure, and an MRI later confirmed that one of his blood clots had broken free, traveled to his brain, and had caused a stroke. To prevent further damage, doctors placed Eric into a medically induced coma. While his condition had stabilized, the stroke significantly affected his balance, speech, and strength on one side of his body. In addition to the stroke, Eric has suffered multiple heart attacks over the past several months. His doctors have now recommended a double bypass surgery, followed by an extended and carefully monitored recovery period. It goes on to explain what the result or the impact of that will be, but I don't think it's going to take much. It's not going to take fucking Sherlock Holmes to realize that Eric is a performing, traveling magician, and he makes his income from that.
And at the moment,
he's lost his income, and it's America. The American health service is the worst in the world. I think one of them, because they have to pay for everything. In the UK, all of that is free, and you get all that covered. If you have a medical emergency like that, I mean, it's debatable about the quality of it, but when my mother had a brain hemorrhage and she had to have 2 brain surgeries and everything, she didn't have to pay for it. So go to GoFundMe, donate to Eric. He's one of the good ones. He's done so much for magic and so much for coin magic. And he's just a good dude. He really helped me when I was younger in my career. So please go and help him.
Absolutely. He's the GOAT. He really is. And we should all go and support him. And, if you're listening to this, Eric, which I can't imagine that you would be, get well soon. Get well soon and just focus on your recovery. But the point I was trying to make with all of that is, if he was a full-time creator and something like that happened, well, what do you do? Do you know what I mean? Other than doing a GoFundMe, what do? You look at somebody like Dan Harlan, who is probably the closest thing that we've got now to a full-time creator. And you see him at lectures all the time. And, he worked for Penguin for a while. Now he's doing his own thing. He's in hot water because 2 years ago, he promised 3 volumes of a book that still hasn't appeared 2 years later, despite taking everyone's money.
We've never really spoken about that, have we?
We've not really spoken about that, but the Masterworks project, he said it was going to drop in, October. The first volume was going to drop in October 2024. It did not drop in October 2024. His subscribers have had nothing. The people that paid him full for the books ahead of time have had nothing other than a couple of emails with a couple of tricks out of the books. Then a year later, he went on and he had he was about to lose his house, and so did he GoFundMe, and he got a ton of money to be able to sort that out, extra to what people pay, but still the books haven't arrived. Vanishing Ink bought out a Harlan's Helper ebook with all of the money going to Harlan, which has been sent, I believe, to the subscribers, but still no book. 2 years later, over 2 years later. And I think that the people who have paid him have had a handful of tricks sent to them by email, not the 3 volumes they have been promised at this point. And he's still going out and making conventions appearance. He's still lecturing. A new Dan Harlan trick just came out through Penguin at Black Friday. So there's still stuff that he's still being a creator. But all those people that paid hundreds of dollars to get his books ahead of time, they're just being left in the lurch. Now, the problem for that, the reason for that, I think, and I've not spoken to Dan Harlan myself about it, but the reason for that is because Dan is not a business person. Dan, and the problem is a lot of creators aren't business people. They are creators. And when you're creative, you're not normally very good at the business side of things. And so when it comes to making money as a creator and balancing books and putting stuff aside and so on and so forth, I'm sure he had the best of intentions. I'm sure he thought, right, I'm going to announce these books, I'm going to write these books, I'm going to have all the money come in, that will pay me enough money to be able to write them and so on and so forth. And it's all gone tits up. And now he's probably in a situation where he doesn't know what the fuck he's going to do. If I was him, I would go to a Penguin Magic or a Murphy's Magic or a Vanishing Ink, and I'd say, look, help me write these books, because at this point, I'm not going to be able to.
Has he written the books?
No. If he had, they would have come out. He's not written the books. As far as we're aware, there's no communication. But as far as I'm aware,
communication is the number one thing. If I've ever felt like, in the rare instance, I have customers on my own website, Lloyd.tv, and if anything goes awry or goes wrong, communicate like fuck. We sent out lecture packs 2 or 3 weeks ago. One of them was going to Israel, and there was options for the lecture pack, which was gimmicks and a book, or just the book on its own. And Kaylee sent out one to someone, and she sent out the gimmicks without the book. And she noticed. And so I emailed. So the first thing I did was communicate to the person was, first of all, she sent out the book the next day, tracked, even though they didn't pay for tracking on the original order. And I said, hey, just a heads up, just so you know, you're going to get the gimmicks first and then the book because we fucked up on the shipping. And then versus if I just let him get it, the customer get the gimmicks, and then, you know, that turns into a complaint. Hey, what the fuck's my book? You know, what the fuck's going on?
That's it. But
communication is key. If you don't communicate, you've got nothing.
And that's the problem with being a creator, in that if you want to be a full-time creator, you're going to have to get good at the communication and the business side of things, which a lot of creators aren't. You know, for every
someone like Dan Harlan, though, I think is kind of inexcusable. Like, he's been in the business his entire life. Yeah. You know, I don't think there's, you know, if he's out, like you said, performing, lecturing, selling products still, then he's taken away all of his mitigating circumstances.
Yeah.
Really, to be honest with you, like, fucking either say the book's not coming out for years when you put it up for pre-sale, or lock yourself in a room and do not leave that fucking room until those books are written and are at the publisher.
I agree.
That's it. And that is the only valid option. And I can imagine he's going to have, and he's a god of magic. Like, he's a god of magic. So he's going to have his super hardcore supporters doing mental gymnastics to defend him. You see it in every facet of life. Everyone will have a hardcore supporter that will defend everything they do, no matter what. Look at the fucking moderators in the Magic Cafe. But there's no excuse here. If you've got time to do other things, holidays and gigging and lecturing and selling, then you get in that room, fucking take a week's supply of food. Don't leave until it's written.
Which is why I never release anything through my own sources. I always go through a production company, because I've told you in the past, I don't want that stress. I don't want to be the person that's having to send this shit out. And I've got an infrastructure. I've got staff that could probably pull that off, but I wouldn't want to take them away what their jobs are. I don't want to be in that situation where I'm ruining my reputation by promising something to somebody that I'm not going to deliver. You know, I've had Murphy's offer me a wholesale account, and they go, oh, you should open up a magic shop. You've got a great following. I've had Penguin offer me a wholesale account. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the reason I want to go through a production company is because I want to be good at the bit that I'm good at, which is create. I'll do two things. One, I'll create a really great fucking trick. And then two, I will hype that motherfucker up, and I will communicate with every single member of the Magic community. I will let them know why that trick's great. I will be there answering every single question. I'll do videos on it. I'll do multiple live performances. I will get people screaming and reacting to that magic trick. I will give you every asset you need to be able to make this as big a success as it can be. But I'm not going to get involved with any else. I don't want to be involved with the production of fucking prototypes or editing fucking trailers or any of that bullshit. I don't want to do that. I just want to do the bit that I'm good at, because I know I can control that. And if I can control it, I am in control of my own reputation. And that's really important to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's 80-20 in it, you know, like, don't take it all at once. And I feel sometimes doing these podcasts is so hard, because we talk openly and we talk without filters, and we kind of try not to show as much bias, or try not to be biased in certain situations. My opinion of Harlan's magic, and you know, up until like the book situation, and it's so high. I've got such a high opinion of him as a human. And like he got into legal trouble years ago.
Yeah,
because he was
like, that's
but he's faced it and took it like he righted himself. And because I think he was going through like some addiction issues, and he stole a cash register like naked.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
I can empathize. I was an alcoholic. I'm 4 years clean and sober, and I try and talk about it regularly because I know it helps when other people hear about it, and I get so many emails and messages about it. And I know that he changed his life, turned his life around, and he got started to work with Penguin, and so like to see that happen, like my opinion of him is really, really high as a person.
Well, I think what happened is when he left Penguin, it all went downhill, because when he was at Penguin, he had an infrastructure around him. He had a team of
Yeah.
people that could help him do the Tarbell series and everything else that he did. And I think he probably, and I've not spoken to him about this, but this is my opinion, he probably thought, hang on a minute, I'm here at Penguin Magic. They're making all of the money. They're paying me a wage, but they're making all of the money from all of the releases that are coming out of my brain. I could be doing that myself. And so he left Penguin and he set up his own thing. And he's like, I'm going to produce books. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the other. And what's actually happened is he's realizing very, very quickly that Penguin have done a lot more for him than just paying him a wage. Like the infrastructure that they have in place, and I talk about this full personally because I've been there multiple times. They have an incredible team. They can handle every single aspect of it, like Murphy's can, which is why you will never ever see me bring my own trick out. It's never going to happen. If a production company doesn't want it, it ain't coming out. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. 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 I'm hoping. Well, how long ago was he supposed to have delivered the books?
The first book was supposed to be delivered October 2024. Second one, October 2025. And I think the third one, October 2026. I might be wrong, but I think those are the dates. And nothing's come at all. And he was supposed to keep in regular contact with his subscribers and send.
Well, the regular contact thing is doable. Like there's no excuse in the fucking world if he's out performing, gigging and lecturing and holidays and all that. There's no excuse in the world. It should be a weekly, every single Friday update. Even if it's just, hey, I've written 5 more pages, guys.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
That's it. Step number 1. I mean, a year. If this is masterworks, right? These are his best tricks he's ever created. So it's not like he has to create the tricks. They're already
no, not at all. It's his.
They just have to be described.
Yeah, it's his art of astonishment. It's all of the stuff he's created over the last 3 decades.
Sucks to say, man, but he hasn't really got a leg to stand on.
Nope.
Refund the money, or fucking put him out.
Yep, I would contact either Vanishing Ink or Penguin Magic, because both of those guys do books and do them really well.
Didn't you have somebody help write with your book?
Oh yeah, I couldn't fucking write a book. Eric Tate ghostwrote it for me. I sent him fuck tons of videos, and it was the same deal. I said to Penguin, I said, I will happily write a book.
That must have been, no offense, because I couldn't write a book for somebody else's magic, like Eric Mead doing the column. I mean, he had 40 years.
Eric Tate said to me that, because it took 2 years to get that book to paper. He turned around to me and he went, I've lived in your brain for 2 years. I think I need therapy. Like, it took a long time to get that to fruition. But I think that's Dan. If Dan hasn't got the time or the capacity to do it, the only other option he has is reach out to somebody like Penguin that have got the resources to do it, and they can save his reputation. And right now, I think that's the most important thing.
Save his reputation. Do a big royalty split with him, so that whoever's writing the book gets recomped for it, and anyone that's already pre-ordered gets a bonus book or something. You know, they get the Tarbell series for free.
Yeah, something.
In the entire Tarbell series for free as a sorry, and Harlan can sail off into the sunset. But like at this point, I'd be in damage control mode. I would be in full-blown damage control mode. And maybe this is why he's this crazy eccentric creator that he is, that he doesn't see the logical he doesn't see things the way that we, because it might not be logical what we say, but doesn't see the world the same as everyone else. And you know, but
he doesn't. And that's the problem. I've just punched up his Facebook profile, bearing in mind he's not communicating with anyone. But like at the moment, 4 days ago, he's talking about eating a pizza with his wife. 8th of December, Christmas is coming. I'm very excited. He's very happy, holding a bottle of beer. I'm putting up my Christmas tree.
I get really enraged by shit like this. If he's out in a restaurant having pizza, I'm thinking that's not your fucking that's not even your fucking money. That's what goes through my head when I see people who rip people off.
Yep.
I think, how dare you fucking spend anything on yourself? Because it ain't your money. Give that money back.
Should be in a fucking room writing a book, mate. Should be in a fucking room writing a fucking book. Lloyd, I have to go to a gig in a couple of minutes. We have to wrap this up. We have been going now for 3 hours.
Podcast is well and truly back, motherfucker.
It's fucking back, and then some, which is wonderful for gigging magicians. I've had so many people that say to me, "We've been traveling all over the country this December, and it's so nice to have the podcast back to listen to. Can you make the episodes longer?" You're fucking welcome. But
The funny thing is, to me, like this felt like one of the shortest ones we've done out of the last few.
I know, right? It's just because I love chatting to you. I love you, Lloyd. I love
you too. How lovely. How festive. A little festive.
We're going to have to do one a little bit earlier next week. We'll have to like schedule it for Monday or Tuesday. Still put it up on Wednesday, but Wednesday's Christmas Eve. I'm going to be busy on Christmas Eve.
Fine. I'll spend time with my kids.
That's what you need to do.
Are you off to that cabin in the woods?
I am. I'm fucking gone. So we're doing it on Monday, and then I'm fucking gone. I have a cabin in the woods.
Gone is the name of my puppet.
I am fucking out of here. I am done. I am in a cabin with no internet, no signal, and everybody can go fucking do one. I've spent the last month in between gigs, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, batching videos, so everyone gets a video every single day over Christmas. You're welcome. I'll do a podcast before I leave, and then I'm gone. It's family time. I'm just going to spend the week away, just enjoying.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie. You'll be on.
No, I am.
Dude, first of all, you're getting banned from the Magic Cafe after this.
Oh, I really am.
And then you're going to be online ranting that you've never said anything bad about the Magic Cafe in your life.
No, I don't figure me getting banned from the Magic Cafe at this point is a little bit like somebody taking the heroin away from a heroin addict. I don't think that that's a problem.
No, I don't think that's the right correlation. That's saying you're addicted to it. Like, I think it's like saying it's like being kicked out of the society of pedophiles. You know, it's like, hey, like, I was like, dude, I don't want to be associated with you, the people who cover up sex crimes, you fucking dirty nappy sniffers. That's what it's more like. I'm sorry, I just can't tone this down. Like, it's just not.
No, you can't.
There's so many topics in the world in which you can have
shit at this time.
Be careful with, but you can't. You literally can't. You can't sugarcoat it. The guy went to prison for 5 years for fucking kids, and they will not let you acknowledge it in any way, shape, or form. Every single speech about it gets deleted, but you're free to discuss his new product, which earns money.
This must be what it's like to be you dealing with me. Fucking hell. It's a lot.
Oh, there are times I'm like, fucking hell, Craig, are you sure you want to be getting into this, pal, today? But like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, they're a cunt, but they're bigger cunts to fry. This is like the biggest thing at the minute, man, to be honest with you. Like, well, I can think of one guy who was like mecca cunt, but
oh, he's got his coming. We know. He's got his coming.
And he doesn't know it.
He doesn't even know it. That's the beautiful thing. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. And he's about to get a fucking nuclear bomb dropped on his head.
Yeah,
and then we will.
But the Magic Cafe right now, man, they deserve it.
Yeah.
If the Magic Cafe was squeaky clean, had a clean history, has no controversy surrounding it, and they were doing this, they would still be getting this full barreled. You never cover up a sex crime of a pedophile.
Nope.
What is so
Convicted
hard
guy.
to understand about that?
Teacher, 15 years old, girl, 7 months. He was teaching her. Convicted, 5 years in prison.
He was teaching her how to fuck.
Yes. And she didn't want to.
And the Magic Cafe don't want you to know that he did it. They just want you to separate the man from the artist. All right, guys? All right, can we just separate the man? Let's just keep this to bullying people about magic, right? Don't bully them for being pedophiles. That's not right. Bully them for their tricks. Fucking hell, have some decency, will you?
Gotta go to a gig. I've genuinely got to go to a gig, else I'm going to be late. So, thank you once again for joining us on the Magic Podcast. We'll be back next week, and it's nice to be back bigger than ever, better before. Here's the thing: you heard a audio question from Tyler. Send in your questions. We want to hear a couple of questions next week. Send in your questions. We want to hear them. Whatever they are, we'll answer for you. But
we had 1,700 listeners on YouTube alone for the last episode.
And that's just on YouTube. I was looking at the stats from the podcast, and they're just like boom, 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 boom. Like
insane. So if anyone says only stupid people listen to people who swear, you're in good company, my friends.
Absolutely.
We're a bunch of fucking idiots around here, but there's a fucking lot of us. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. Lloyd?
Well, after this episode, anyone that's a nonce might be like, oh, hey, fuck you guys. I'm sticking with the mods of the cafe. Let's go and talk about magic.
I thought we got through it. Oh,
sorry,
we're back
sorry.
again.
I can't leave it there. Can't leave it there.
I know you can't. Can we talk about it more next week? Because I genuinely have got to.
Yeah, I just dropped my cards on the floor, which is the perfect time.
But go tell everyone to fuck off.
Have a shit week, you cunt.
Exactly. It's the week to Christmas. It's time to be a cunt. It's the season of cunts. We'll be back next week right here on the Magic Podcast. Leave us a comment.
The Magic
subscribe,
Podcast.
join the fucking Facebook group, and most importantly, send us an audio question. Until then, I'm Craig.
I'm Lloyd.
We did
Don't
it.
fuck kids.
Don't
And
fuck
don't
kids.
cover up people who do fuck kids.
Magic Cafe, we're talking to you.
We apologize for disrupting your normal daily schedule. You may now relax, tuck your deck back in, and resume your regular day-to-day life. Remember to subscribe to be notified the moment each new episode goes live every Wednesday. And join our Facebook group to continue the conversation. The link is in the description to this podcast. Thank you for listening to The Magic Podcast.